Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? All right, we get to have some fun today. We get to build some stuff live. That's always fun. We get to look at some new, there was just an Etch update. I just don't know. There's just no, it's tough I don't know how these tools are going to keep up. I don't know how these other tools are going to keep up. I don't even know what this means. I don't even know what that means. Okay, so we've got exposed component props that we're going to take a look at. I mean, this is fun. This is really, we're having a lot of fun here. One thing is for sure, nobody is having as much fun as us. We've got a new dynamic image element. We're going to talk about what that's for. And like I said, we're just gonna build some stuff. Now, somebody said, can we request patterns? I actually went through the Get Frames library, because that's what we're working on reconstructing essentially for Etch. And I picked out 4 of them. I think you'll be fairly happy with them. They tend to be along the lines of stuff that people request. There's some diversity in terms of, one's just a pattern. Well, actually, the very first one, we're getting right into components. The second one is a component. I'll show you in just, actually, no, I'm sorry. The second one is a blog post template, which is highly requested. So this one will be, I'm sure a lot of people will love that. A lot of people will love that. And the third one is another component, but it's just a mobile component. And it's a great component for any local business. Any local business that you're working with, especially one that gets visited frequently and has maybe a, like you need a map, you need like a location kind of link, you need, a coupon, a voucher, a special offer kind of link, you need quick access to calling them, quick access to emailing them. This is a really, it's called a menu bar. And that would be good. I think we're gonna have fun with that. That's gonna be a component. And then we have feature section Victor. So I'll show you all of these, but I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today building stuff, answering questions. I'll take a break every now and then to answer questions. I am gonna be building these for the pattern library for Etch, right? And I think that it's important, and I'll kind of reiterate this as we go. When you see me building things for a pattern library, that is very different often than when I'm building something for myself. When I'm building something for myself, I tend to follow an approach of, let's build the simplest possible version of the thing. And if it needs to be expanded in functionality later, then I can expand it later. But when I'm building for a pattern library, I have to literally sit and think about like, okay, how would people want to tweak and manipulate this? What are the different variations that they are going to want? And I have to build those all at the same time. And so building these things sometimes takes a bit longer than it would in real life, because in real life, I'm just building according to the spec of like what I need right now, and then I'm moving on with my life. But in a pattern library situation, you're building for all of the immediately like possible or necessary variations. And so there's a lot more to account for. And so it takes a little bit more time. And I like to make that point because you have to understand that when you're watching me build patterns that are going to be used for lots of people, thousands of people are going to use this pattern and they need it to work different ways. That requires more complexity. I don't want you to think that, oh my gosh, it's everything that we have to build is so complex. It's really not the case. It's really not the case. This is a special scenario because I'm building something that has to be used by lots and lots of people. That's very different than just building a thing for this one project and moving on, right? Okay, let me go ahead and drop your likes. If you have a question, #Q. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So this is the first section. This is gonna be our warm up. Actually not a section. It says CTA section Sierra, but it's not. It actually shouldn't be a section. This is just a component. It is some sort of featured card component. Like it's a feature card essentially. We'll call it feature card Sierra. And we'll talk about structure. And the whole point of this, or one of the points of this, is to be a supplemental training for PB101. We're going to be going through the 5S approach to building everything that we do. I've kind of tried to reiterate that the 5S process is rinse and repeat. It's like, oh, you need to build something? Okay, go through the 5S process. Oh, you need to build another thing? Okay, go through the 5S process. You just take the same approach to every single thing that you build. Nice and consistent, nice and streamlined, nice and organized, okay? And it becomes muscle memory. Okay, well, it's a good question, Ian. It's because it was designed based on Elementor. That's essentially what the concept was originally, right? But you can't look, Ian. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to. We're 3.5 minutes in or whatever it is. You're trying to suck me into a rant. Okay, you're trying to get me to go down the path of negativity. I'm not gonna do it, Ian. I'm gonna have discipline. I'm gonna stick to what we're doing here, which is building some patterns. Okay. So we have this card we're gonna do. We have, I don't know why this text is black on this demo, but this blog post template, we're not gonna worry about the CTA area down here. We might worry about the footer, I don't know, we'll see. But this blog post template, which is a very, very popular like layout design for a blog. And keep in mind, all this stuff is relatively unstyled. This is not fully styled stuff that we're building. This is a design agnostic pattern library. It gives you a starting point and then you embellish it, you know? So that's the context of what we're gonna be building and looking at here. And then here's the menu bar, which if you, this site doesn't have mobile preview, but if you come in and this is like on a mobile device, this bar sits right at the bottom. And like I said, it just puts these things front and center and great for a local business. Because anybody goes to a local business website, what are the most important things they want to find? How do I call them? How do I email them? How do I find them? And then can they give me some sort of coupon or something? You know, like, so this is a perfect bar for that. And it only shows up on mobile. And we can actually just make this as a droppable component. It's like, oh, you need one of these? Okay, go to your index template, drop this component in, fill out a couple fields, done deal, done deal. So we can build one of these, we'll build this. And then if we have time, we'll build feature section Victor, which is another highly, highly popular pattern. And really it's just these cards with the hover effect, the faded image, the zooming, you know, like that kind of stuff, okay? So that's kind of our agenda today. We're gonna start with this one. Now this one is very interesting because you see a block placeholder image here. What this was originally designed for is a cutout image. And it looks really, really good with a cutout image. But there are some complications, okay? This is not typically as easy as it looks when you have to make it accountable to any image somebody might want to drop in, okay? So there's gonna be some math involved in this one for sure. I remember back when I built it a couple years ago, you know, there's more than meets the eye to some of these things. Also, none of these things we were not able to do them as components because Bricks didn't have it didn't have component functionality at all when these things were built. And in my opinion, it still doesn't have proper component function. So it's not even safe to really do them as components in there. So, but with Etch, not a problem, not a problem. So we're gonna be doing this as a component. This is a template. This is a component. And this will be a pattern with two different components in it, an intro component and a card component. And let's just go. Let's just rock and roll. How are we feeling today? Can we get some LFGs in the chat? Maybe I should, a lot of people request the rants. They love the rants. Maybe I should do a podcast and it's just called, it's something related to, it's not even like, don't even come here for like, obviously there's value in the rants, right? But don't come here for like instructional content. Don't come here for, the podcast could just be, you know, 15 straight minutes of a rant on something or other. And that could be the entire concept of the podcast. And I could just get it all out over there. And then on the YouTube channel, whenever I feel a rant coming on, I'll just be like, check this week's podcast. Like, we're not going to get into it. Like, just check this week's podcast. Maybe we could do it that way. Okay, let's go to CTA section here. I don't know why I chose this as a warm-up. I'm already feeling like this is too involved to be a warm-up. Okay. I also do all of this to put everything through its paces. You know, we got new features coming out. Hey, let's just go straight to building stuff. Let's just, where does it have hiccups? Where does it struggle, you know? Or does it? Maybe it doesn't. All right, let's go edit with Etch. We are going to be building CTA section Sierra, which we're not worried about the section here today. We're just going to be building this card component. We're going to call it feature card Sierra. We can talk a little bit about, I don't want Pro Mouse to be drawing. I turn this off and okay, get out of here. I turn off the options, Pro Mouse preferences. Look at this. So I go drawing. No, I don't want it. It doesn't remember my preference. I don't know. Some software is better than others. You know what I'm saying? Like, this kind of stuff's annoying. It doesn't, every time I restart my computer, it's back to drawing and doing other stuff. It doesn't remember my preferences. Okay, so let's go clear this out. We obviously need the card box. What's S number 1, guys? S number 1. Just put it in the chat. We'll do a little pop quiz. Okay, so we need that. We need a box for this side. We need a box for this side, which is essentially going to be the figure. And then we need this image, of course, okay? And then the way that this is offset from the rest of the card is going to be interesting. That's where there's a couple different approaches that we could take here, and we've got to kind of weigh pros and cons and figure out if we can just maybe find the simplest approach that has the least amount of cons. There might be a little bit of testing here and there to see what we want to do. But that seems pretty much it for these boxes. This is probably going to be a CSS grid. I might position this image absolute, which if we're using CSS grid affords you a little bit of an extra advantage in terms of your positioning, but we'll see. We'll see. We need to get into it. All right. So there's our structure. And I'll flip back and forth obviously as we go. I'm going to go to Content Hub. I'm going to go to Layouts. My short-term memory is terrible. Sierra. Okay, so we need feature card Sierra. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom, feature card Sierra, and I'm going to create a layout. And I'm going to go to it. And here we are with our blank slate. I'm going to put a section in here for display purposes so that our card's not just touching the edge of the screen, but that's not really going to be part of the pattern that we're doing here, or the component, I should say. There's also going to need to be, mobile consideration here, obviously. And we may end up doing this. We're probably going to need to do this because this is a card. We're probably going to need to do this with a container query instead of a media query. So, I don't know why I chose this one as a warm. This is not really a warm up. I mean, you need to already be warm to get into this one. Okay, so feature card Sierra, and then we said we needed a div, and then we need an image. And then in the div, that's actually, I'm gonna put dummy content in here, but when we actually do the component, that's gonna end up being a slot. But I will put in some dummy content for now. We'll just throw in a heading text and a link. We'll put a button primary on here. We'll come into our paragraph and lorem 40, maybe get like 40 characters there. This is the card heading. Okay, fantastic. It's going to be an H2 for right now because I have no other heading in this section. So this needs to be an H2. This is going to be the content wrapper. We're going to go ahead and name our stuff. Feature card Sierra has a content wrapper, has a heading, has we'll just call that text for now. That's fine. None of this is going to be here. And if you're wondering what a slot is or how slots work, we're going to get there right off the bat, okay? But none of this is actually going to be there when we, in fact, I'm going to remove that while I auto BIM because I don't need classes for those. None of that exists, okay? The content of this card is going to be whatever the user puts in it. That's how a slot works. So I don't worry about putting those things in and putting classes on them or anything like that. So this will be the image wrapper and this will be the image. And I really think that's probably all we need. So I'm gonna right click, create BEM classes. This is going to be just a normal card. So it's gonna be a div for right now. If we needed to put them in a list of things, we would just wrap them with a list item in that context. So I think in terms of like semantics, at least for right now, div is fine. And I'm probably gonna make it a dynamic element so it can be whatever you want. If it needed to be an article for whatever you're using it for, you would be able to make it an article. When we do the component, I'll show you how to do all of that, okay? Very easy stuff. All right, now that the classes are made, I will put my heading text and link back in because I don't want them to have selectors. They're just gonna chill here for a minute, okay? My card heading. And then I'll do my lorem, and I actually want some extra lorem. So let's do like lorem 80 here. I wanted a little bit of extra text, and then this can be button primary, and this is going to say call to action, okay? Save. All right, sounds good. Let's go ahead and get our main styling going. So we've got two things here that need to be side to side. So on the parent, I'm gonna go display grid, and for right now, I'm going to do just an auto grid of 2. We're gonna come back and refactor this in a minute, but for now, I'm just gonna kind of do some stuff as quickly as possible. All right, let's go back to here and throw a gap on there. We definitely want a gap for sure. Let's split this because I think the original has, these are some long sentences. I think the original has 2 paragraphs in it, right? So we'll throw another one in. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna choose okay, we need a cutout image. Let's go to Canva. I've been trying their image generator lately. Let's go. This is gonna be for like I like to have inspiration while you build. You know, what would you use this thing for? I don't know. We're gonna highlight it's a dance school. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. And this is maybe one of the dance classes. All right, so let's do ballet. We'll go female ballet dancer, isolated on white, photorealistic. I don't know, like I don't do prompts that often. Y'all that do images all the time, you're probably gonna prompt way better than I am, but I'm just gonna try to get something usable for this demo. Female ballet dancer, isolated on white, photorealistic. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see what we get out of this. Remember, oh dear, jeez, holy smokes! Can we get a filter on this? What the fuck? Okay, this one might be usable right here. We could go with that, or we could go with I like this one. I like this one. Okay, how do I do this? Open an editor, and I think we need to. There's some weird cropping nonsense that happens in. Okay, let's look at the dimensions. So 940, no, okay. That 490, 491, let's come in here. Let's come in, we'll leave that shadow, even though I think we're gonna cut some of this off on the bottom. What are my dimensions? All right, let's do 490 by 848. 490 by 848. What we have to do is some stupid nonsense. 490 by, terrible memory. 490 by 848. Friends, okay? Set image as background. You got to come in here and go to like this stupid layers. 490 by 848. That's what I'm trying not to forget. 490 by 848. Then you got to resize the page, custom size. They didn't make this friendly. 490 by 848. Okay? Copy and resize. You have to like duplicate the page. Then you like delete this one you don't need. They say Canva's user friendly. I'm gonna push back on that. Share, download. We need. Oh, you know what? Did we remove the background? BG remover. Okay. I don't know if I needed to do that or not. I'm not a Don't come to me for. We're not doing Canva 101 over here. Okay. I'm not a Canva pro. I do want a transparent background. I don't know if like doing this size thing. Is that gonna just upscale it and it's gonna be shitty quality? That could be. Now I don't know. How do I get back to what it was? Oh, I gotta put it at 1. Okay. We'll just leave. Let's not get too crazy. Okay, let's not get too crazy. Web. Let's go to no. Oh dear. Okay. ballet dancer. All right, let's go to squoosh. Let's squoosh our ballet dancer. Let's go to WebP, and I'll probably boost it a little bit. What kind of file size are we dealing with here? Oh my gosh, we are so low on the file size. I got so much quality to work with. Okay, ballet dancer downloads. All right, let's throw that ballet dancer in. Let's use that media. Look at this. That is the resolution's a little low. All right, we didn't quite make her big enough. AI failed us a little bit. I needed a high res image. I got a medium res image. It's gonna have to do for right now. Yeah. That's a struggle. Okay, I'm gonna go. We need to force the aspect ratio on this. Probably, let's try something like that. Object fit cover. Actually, I don't know. We might need to do contain if we force the because you don't want to get in a situation where you're cutting stuff off. But I could also say cover, but we're gonna preserve the object position of 0%. And that will always preserve the top, and it will only crop from the bottom. And I think if we're looking at a card like this where the bottom's touching anyway, it's probably the desirable effect. Okay. And then I'm thinking here, it's time to, I don't know that that's a 50-50 grid. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. We're also in a situation where we need card padding on. Dude, do I have to click through every single tab? What's my brain doing? Okay, let's go add the card padding. We're gonna go space. I think we need a lot here. I think a lot of breathing room looks good. Let's go space XXL in there. But I already know I'm gonna need a card padding, and we're gonna go with that right there as the value. And then I'm just gonna switch this to card padding. I'm gonna need to know the padding of the card in order to do the calculations that we need. And I'm actually thinking XL is gonna do the job. I don't think we need to go all the way to L. Okay, I think we're starting to do pretty good here. Before we get crazy, okay, it's an auto grid, so it's already gonna be responsive, but I think we're gonna need maybe more control over where it breaks. So instead of an auto 2, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go straight to a container query. So we're gonna say has me selector, add a container query. We're just gonna come in and see maybe, I'm looking at the blue number right here. Let's just try 975 to start. So 975 greater or equal than 975. That's when we can do our display grid. And I'm gonna search for 2, and I'm gonna do a normal 2-column grid. And that way I now have precise control over where that breaks, which I'm gonna need. Here I can just go display flex, and no, we still need the gap there. Okay, so that'll ensure that we still have the gap when this breaks down. Okay, that works, we're doing well. I'm gonna put a random class on here and a background color because this card, oh, nope, sorry, it's reverse. Okay, so the card background is, like I always use neutrals in these because they're not supposed to be fully styled up. So let's do neutral ultralight, put that in there. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And then I don't need that class on the section because I'm not gonna do anything with the section. Okay, let's add a border radius on that card. That's good. And what else do I need before we do our math and our positioning? Let's go look at our original. I think we're ready to go. I think we're ready to rock and roll. So let's try position absolute on this. And we're going to have to set a fixed dimension on here. Let's go with width. Let's go max inline size of something like 600. We want to position it to the bottom, and it's already overflowing, but now we're gonna have to position it to the bottom, which I'm gonna do with just Actually, this bottom value, this inset block end. But I'm thinking if I do inset block start and go 100%, what is that? Okay, yeah, that's not what we want to do. So it needs to be block end at 0, but it needs to be our calculation. So we're gonna calc this 0. I think you can calc 0. Pretty sure you can calc 0. You might have to put a unit on it. 0 pixels plus card padding and time. Hold on, let's think about this. 0. Can you calc this? 0. Let's just put a 1. Oh, well, it helps if you it helps if you spell calc right, I'm sure. Pixels. Okay. Yes. And then we just need to make it a negative. So times -1. All right, why are we slightly off? That doesn't seem to make any sense. Oh, we're way off. Okay, well, let's get out of mobile mode. All right, let's go in here, bring my inspector up, and let's see what we've got going on. So the figure, oh, I probably know why. I mean, we didn't do relative on our card. Usually that helps. So let's go in and position relative on our card. Still didn't fix it, so we can also do relative to the figure. I wonder, that's what we want. Yeah, you don't want relative to the card because you're already doing the math to overcome the positioning relative to the figure. Can I get a refresh? Look at us. Look at us go. We can keep going. We can continue to pretend to be a professional. Okay, let's go. I'm thinking that the inline size here is really what's going to start to control like how much overlap we actually have. We don't want a lot. You don't want a lot. But I'm thinking, what if we max block size? Okay, so let's put this back at like what it was, 5. That's too much overflow. Max block size of, I don't know, 400. What actually happens? Okay, so yeah, that's gonna squish it down. Okay, we gotta solve for this. We gotta solve for this somehow. Let's go max inline size 500. We also want to, I think, center it, right? Wouldn't we want to center this? So if our inset is 50% and then we translate back minus 50% 0, we're dead center now. That's getting there. That's looking nice. What if I use a relative? No, that's, yeah, that might work. That might, hold on, that might work. We make that relative to, the size is relative to that container. We're gonna have to manage an offset somehow, like with a token. And I'm trying to think about exactly where we want to stick that lever. Like what actually controls the offset? Other than just the size of the image. Like, is there a way max inline size minus some value, right? This value seems to be, it's just a manipulation of the inline size, but it effectively gives you an overlap value, right? So we could call that overlap amount. And if we define an overlap amount up here, it's actually weird because the higher you go, the less overlap you get. So we can make that more workable by going like times -1, I think. And then 2, hold on, I did that wrong, I think. Go to image, overlap amount time, 100% minus, oh, you know what? We're mixing percentages and im units. I don't know that we're gonna be able to do that. Though, yeah, times -1, overlap amount. Instead of overlap amount, let's just do, yeah. Hold on, we can calc. What if we put this in their own? All right, take away the -1. Holy smokes, let's just get some working values here. All right, -3% times, I'm terrible at math, times -3%. Don't judge my math. Minus. Well, hold on. That's gonna let us do that. That's gonna let us do that. I don't know why the times -1 is really blowing us up like that. -6m, 7m. I want it to be. Is it just? Am I just? No. Phone a friend in the chat. If someone's better at math than me. What am I trying to do here? I need this to be an overlap value, but I need the lower the number goes, the less overlap, and the higher the number goes, the more overlap we get. This is I need one of my lifelines. -8. This is what public school gets you. All right. I mean, I can leave it like this for now. Overlap amount, okay? But it's not super clean in my estimation because it's going to be a little confusing to people. Overlap amount times. I think it's something it doesn't like. Doesn't like something. I think with the mixing of percentages and M units, I believe. Object fit is already contained, bub. We just need a math formula. That's all I need help with. It's math. So this is a math problem. Okay. Overlap amount 100% minus 100. Yeah, we're going 100% minus an amount. But the greater the amount. Okay, how about this? How about this? Is it just var overlap amount times -1 and that needs to be isolated in a, I don't even know what these are called in math. Let's go back and see if that does anything. No, it's completely busted there. All right, let's go back to image. Yeah, oh yeah. Cover's fine. That's not the problem though. This is not the problem. Cover contain is not, I think you want 100% minus calc stuff. No, it all has to be in a calc. 100% minus overlap amount times -1. See, it's something with this M. When I put the -1 in there, it breaks it. 5M times -1. Yeah, it's like, I think it's the M's with the percentages. Because if I change this to a percent, right, would it still be broken? Yeah, I'm actually not sure on that right now. All right, we're just gonna let it be. We're just gonna let it be dumb for now. 100% minus var. What did I call it? What did I call it? Overlap amount. Okay. This functionally works. I just don't like that the higher the number goes, the less overlap you get. It's inline, yeah, it's inline size because the inline size brings the top down, right? Because of this aspect ratio. So that's effectively what's going on there. Because you can't be in a situation where the max width has to be 100% because you can't let it'll overlap the text if you go crazy, right? So it's got to be contained to 100%. And then we have fluidness in there to deal with this overlaps. And that's going to change depending on the image you put in. That's the thing. Like you put a different image in here, you're going to get a different overlap amount. You're going to have to be able to adjust that overlap amount, which effectively is just controlling the width of the image. Okay. And we'll test this with a different image and see. But I mean, so far, like that's what we've got as far as like how the card looks, which I think is good. It's good with that particular image. Now, if we go to Canva and we go, I don't even know how to get back. I'll tell you which one I won't be using. I'll tell you which one I won't be using. Okay, let's go with this one. All right, open an editor. We got to do our same shenanigans here. Let's find the dimensions that we need. All right, that should be good there. Whatever. See, this one's going to pose a different little thing. 675 by 868. 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 So what you do is you choose another random image, right? And you're like, okay, does it work with this one or does this break somehow? Did our logic that we built this with, is it absolutely broken when we throw in a different kind of image? So this one's a little bit wider. This is not quite the same aspect ratio. Let's go ahead and what do I do from here? Share and download and transparent background. And, oh, geez. I'll see. Get rid of this top page. Okay, we don't need that. You know, some software is just not well done. Canva's one of those things. 678, transparent, save, download. Okay. Let's go to Squoosh, Ballet 2. Drop Ballet 2. Oh, come on, Canva. What the ridiculous. BG, remove. Share. Download, transparent, download, back to Squoosh, Ballet 2, yes, drop in, WebP, I'll take it, okay, and let's drop in a new image. And if this works, I feel pretty confident with moving forward with componenting. Okay, so we just need a new overlap amount. We're gonna see if we can go 9. No, we need like 2. Okay, so this one, I guess what? There was way more stuff at the bottom. Now this just might be, now because we don't want to get into a situation where we cut off the top. See, this is why you have to throw in more images and see what happens. All right, so feature. So our overlap amount is not, let's try contain now and see if contain helps us in any way deal with this situation. Doesn't appear that it does, other than object position now could be manipulated. But I think you're 100 0 100. That's, I think it's the page cutting it off. So now let's manipulate our offset. There we go. So I think we need to give people the option of choosing cover or contain because that is a nice control point to have. But as you can see here, I think you need both. Let's save this and go to the front end. And then that's still, you know, for this effect, we're still good, right? Okay. So we know we need 2 control points to give people. They've got to be able to choose cover or contain. So we're going to say, all right, so I'm going to start standardizing the terminology here. So we're going to say image fit. And we'll say cover for right now. We're going to say image overlap amount, okay? And maybe that would work better with percentages. We'll try that in just a second, but I need to fix this. So this needs to be image overlap amount. Perfect. Let's just try that real quick. What if we use percentages here? Like, what does that do for us? You know, does that make things simpler? And does that fix the logic? So let's go here. 100% minus overlap amount. So, I mean, just changing that 20. It's the same problem. Like the higher you go, the less overlap you get. I mean, it is maybe a good way to do it. How does that, now that's not a good way to do it. That's not a good way to do it. In fact, this is all going to be, now we have more problems. Okay. We might need to align this to the right to give us more. I told you this is I told you there's more than meets the eye. Okay, there's more than meets the eye. Inset inline start, 100%. Or inline end 0. That's gonna put that all the way to the right. That's gonna give us a little bit more width. Maybe what we'll do instead of offset amount is just say image width. It's really not the image width though. But what if I did give just an image width control? Is this really what we need? Inline size, image, just replace this with var image width. So that gives us 100%. Let's think about this because we need it to max inline size. I'm actually not sure. Let's just do this for just a second. Because, max inline size. Oh, did I put 100% on both? Let me try something here. We actually don't want this to, it's gonna have to not scale. Or at least not scale a lot. 600, 600. Max inline size. Or we need to make it relative to the card and not relative to this figure that it's in. That might be an interesting approach. That might be an interesting approach. Instead of position relative here, we can make it position relative to the card. Let's think. Inset block end. Doesn't need a padding offset anymore. The problem with this is it's going to, well, it kind of depends on where people crop these photos too, but I think this is as good as we can get with it. Inline size, 50%. Max inline size, 100. I mean, it's not gonna retain the overlap all the way. Okay, hold on. We gotta think about this because you definitely have to cap the overlap. Max block size. Now we just got to play around a little bit here. Helps if you put the semicolons. 100%. Okay. Plus. Come on, baby. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. We're getting close. We're getting close now. Okay. That's where it's going to stack. Oh, we're getting real close. Where's my other image? Oh, we're getting so close. Oh, look at this. Look at us go. We're getting so close. Okay, so this 4M is the offset. Max, let's say max offset. Max, we'll say image max offset. Image max offset. Image max offset. 4M, something like that. Image width. Actually, smaller, it gets smaller. I think these two levers where you go image width relative to the card size but then you cap its maximum height. That looks like ass. What just happened? Yeah, when it's, okay, so when it's in this context, when the card gets big, okay, maybe, is that right? What's it doing here? What's it calculating here? Oh, image max offset is undefined. That's never a good thing. Image max offset, sir. I absolutely defined it right here. Maybe I didn't save. Did I not save? Oh, okay, that was the problem. That was the problem. Okay. Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking where we're at in life. Okay, we just need to break it. So, we need to take this container query over to our image, and we need to replace this with, so the position becomes relative when that breaks. Container inline size greater or equal to rem 970. Oh, yeah. No. That's not what we want. Sorry. Thinking backwards. Dyslexia is a bitch. You take the position absolute, the inline size, the max inline size, the max block size, the inset values, and you move all of those. I meant to hit Command X. Actually, I can just nudge them. Save. I mean, what more do you want? What more do you want from me? Okay. It's gonna leave a little bit extra padding on the bottom here. Actually, we can keep. So what's outside of the container query is actually the default state. I'm thinking what we might want to do. Still inset. We can go position relative here and still get our inset block end of 0. Inset block end of no, maybe not. Inset block end of 0, position relative. Hold on. What if I keep it absolute? What happens? Yeah, okay. It has to be in the flow of the document. So it's got to go to relative. I feel like negative. No, hold on. What are we doing that's not position relative? This is position relative. Okay, yeah. 0 is not a valid option here. Okay, I think what I'll just do, we'll kill the bottom card padding. So card padding right here. Okay. This is okay. That's tough. Okay. Padding block end 0. I think that's all we need. That puts it at the bottom. And then here, padding, card padding. Card padding. Hey, Rapid Navarre, buddy. Thank you. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'll just explain what I did there quickly. We're setting the padding to card padding, but we're taking away the bottom, and then we're making sure that all of it is coming back when this thing is greater or equal to 975. Okay, so let's refresh. Let's see, are we responsive through our full range of activities? Look at us go. Look at us go. Okay. Now, I did structure. I did semantics. I did selectors. I did styling. What do I do now? Now I do the final S, systems. We got to think in systems. So we're going to go right click, create component. And we are going to build a little component out of this, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to figure out what I need control points for, which we already kind of figured out, but I'm going to go with media. We have our new dynamic media. So I get to choose media ID or URL. Media ID will automatically bring in alt tags, source set, all of that good stuff for you. Okay, I'm going to set a default image of, let's go with this one. And we're gonna go target and click and bang. Okay, so that is set now. We are gonna go essentially get our props for, we don't need any text props. We don't need any, remember, none of that text is gonna exist. We're gonna make a slot in just a second. So it's really these control points right here that I need. So I'm gonna make 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna say card padding, that's gonna be one control point. We're gonna say image width, that's gonna be another control point. Image max offset, and we're gonna say image fit. This will be cover by default. This will be 60 pixels by, it actually should be like some rim value, probably 5 rim. Which I'm gonna think here how we might wanna do that. With our toRim function. Could we do that automatically with our toRim function? Image width, we're gonna say is 100%. I don't know that we need to give them the image width, but I will. We'll just leave it at 100% default. Card padding, space XL, but give it a fallback of like 3 rem or something like that. Okay, so there's our fallbacks. Now what we need to do is we need to pass these values into the HTML so that it's read, like watch this, this is gonna go away. Everything's gonna blow up, but now I'm gonna pass them back in. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna go style equals, and then we're just gonna start passing them in. So we're gonna say our card padding is props.card padding. And then I'm gonna say that my image width is props.image width. And then I'm gonna say my image max offset is props.image max offset. And then my image fit is props.image fit. Add. Done deal. Done deal. Exit. Okay, now can we switch images? Yep. Can we change the card padding? Yep. Can we change the image width? We'll do that in a second if we need to. I don't even know if we need to. Image max offset to M. All right, I'm getting that. That's good. Contain will give no effect in this particular image, but in some images it might. All right, so we'll leave that as cover. This all works. We're good to go. Let's get back to our defaults. Fantastic. Now let's put our slot in. So we're gonna go right click, edit component. We're gonna go delete, 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 delete. Don't need any of that. We are going to drop in a slot. We're gonna click this. We're gonna call this text, okay? Some generic name. So you'll see it says default text there now. And then what I need to do is I need to define essentially what is like, hey, if there's nothing in that slot, I wanna put some placeholder stuff, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drop a div in here, and I'm gonna say placeholder content, and I'm gonna put heading. If I was smart, I would have just moved this in, but I'm not that smart, so I gotta write this over again. This is default card content, all right? And then we'll put this as lorem 40, and then we'll copy that, and we will, you gotta be on the parent to do that. Paste another one in, and on our anchor, we'll leave that alone. That's fine. And then I'll say feature card Sierra _ placeholder content, and I'll just flex this and gap it. Okay, there's our placeholder content right there. And as you see, obviously that's like hard baked in. Okay, that's a problem because if you put stuff in the slot, that's not going to go away. So what you're able to do, very easy, right click, and you're gonna say wrap in condition. And you just say slots.text.empty. So if slots.text is empty, we're gonna show that stuff. And if it's not, then we're not, okay? So I'm gonna exit. So now look at this. You have default card content, but somebody comes along to slot.text, they're like, I wanna put my own content in there, okay? So we go heading, and the minute I start putting content in there, the default stuff disappears, okay? This is my unique content, all right? And then I can come in and what I would probably wanna do is put myself a wrapper in here, right? So let's wrap in div, and I'll say content. And you can do feature card, Sierra, content. You can make your own little class for this. And then what we'll do here is we'll go P, lorem 40, and then I just wanna, essentially do exactly what we just did. A, and then my link, whatever, okay? Let's do href, $, good, nice job. All right, and then we can go display flex and gap, and we're in business. Or if you're an ACSS user, you could do smart spacing that out. That's really nice, okay? Shazam. Now, there might be a little cleanup we wanna do, but I think for demo purposes, we're pretty much good to go. But I now have a feature card Sierra where I can delete this because I don't need it. It'll go back to its default content, and I can share this with people, okay? I can, boom, all right, we're working on a new page. Hey, I need that feature card Sierra. All right, so we'll come over here, feature card Sierra, pop it in. Beautiful, okay? All right. Where the heck did you get the media ID that quick? Hey, this is a new update, my friend, and it just gets it for you. It just gets it for you now. What is the shortcut for nudge? You put a cursor on the line, and then you hold Option, and you hit up and down on the keyboard, and it will nudge. Okay. Yeah, nice easy warm-up component. Okay, who's ready to move on? Are we ready to move on with a blog post template? Little blog post template. Let's go ahead and go to, I'm gonna leave that alone. I won't publish that yet. I wanna go put another, you gotta, what I typically do, build it up, go walk away for a little while, get a drink, hey, take a dip in the pool, out back, whatever, and then come back and get fresh eyes on it, see if you see anything missing, okay? Oh, you know what we didn't do? One thing, I'm gonna show you how easy it is. We're gonna add a prop, select, and we're gonna say HTML tag. And then we can say div is gonna be the default. You could throw an article. You could throw in a list item. It could be a list item if maybe you wanted it to be a list item. And then how do you pass that in? Okay, check this out. You take your thing, div feature card Sierra, right click, convert to dynamic element. And now this prop key right here can be, see this tag drop down list? It has a secret. It can accept any value, okay? So you could just throw in dynamic data, props.html tag, exit, and now you have a way to come in here for the user and select if you want that to be an article. Let's go check on the front end, right click, inspect, and here's our code. Look at this, gorgeous. It's an article now. Of course, it'll default to div, but wait, that still has a trick up its sleeve. You can literally make it anything. You can write whatever you want here. You could even pass dynamic data from advanced custom fields or Metabox or Jet Engine or wherever and still have you can have a truly dynamic tag here, okay? But of course, all Bev would see, Bev doesn't even know let's be honest, she doesn't even know what an article is. So we'll just leave it as at div, but there's a little, just that makes it way more flexible, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get out of here. We need to make a new thing. Oh, look at this in Gutenberg. So Gutenberg cannot render absolutely positioned elements. I don't know if you guys knew that. It has severe problems with, and I'll tell you why. You can't build a single pattern without a rant. People want to know why I get annoyed with the Gutenbergs of the world. But I'll show you. Don't worry. I mean, we can take a look. We can take a look-see. Okay. they thought it was a great idea with 020 specificity to set every fucking element to position relative. So when I said that needs to be absolute, they were like, no. So you know what you have to do? You got to come in here and you have to, where'd my component go? Let's get back into Etch. Okay. You have to put important on it, guys. You have to make sure Gutenberg doesn't break it. You have to put important on it. Isn't that atrocious? So where's my image? Where's my image? Position absolute, important. Now let's see what we look like in Gutenberg. Okay, still something wrong. Still probably some other Gutenberg nonsense going on. So now we have to go invest. See, we did the work. We did the work. The work looks great on a browser. A browser renders the work just fine. Gutenberg struggles. Gutenberg struggles. So now I got to do extra work to figure out what does Gutenberg do? What have they done? What's under the hood going on that's causing us these problems? I don't want to live that life. My client's not paying me to do that. Very annoying. And you know, they wonder. I'm just going to start sending invoices. Honestly, I'm going to start sending invoices to automatic. All right. Hey, I was building a component. It took me 30 extra minutes to deal with your bullshit. Here's the invoice, right? And I'll just get a pile of these bad boys. And yep. So when they finally get around to suing me, I'll just say, well, this should cover it, right? All these unpaid invoices should cover it. Okay. Yeah, I gotta important the relative. Once you important the absolute, you gotta important the relative. But thank God they added the semicolon to their mission statement, for sure. For sure. Okay, let's do a new one. Okay. Blog, post, what? I don't even know what it's called. What are we doing? What are we doing? What's it called? Give me a name. Give me a name. Where's the name? Charlie. There it is. Blog post Charlie. Okay. We can get rid of this one now. We're done with that one. Blog post Charlie. This is going to be interesting because this one's going to take us into the territory of needing content grid. Yeah. We'll see what we get into with this one. This is going to be in blog. This is going to be a template. Let's go ahead and save draft and let's edit with Etch. Okay. We know we need a section. This is going to be though, actually I'm going to wrap this immediately in a div. And this is going to be the article. And this is going to be the article. And I'm just going to say article wrapper. Article wrapper. Okay. We're going to give this a header probably. And we're going to have a normal div for the body, like the main content. We'll call this, I don't like to use the word main because that's a conflict with the actual element main, which is already on the page. So let's go with, let's go here and let's say footer. Okay. I don't know what to call this yet. I haven't developed a good name for this yet. Let's do, content area. I don't know. But it's not even the content area because if you look at the design, I mean, this is like a no man's land out here. And then there's an inner containment and then an inner containment, which that's going to happen with content grid anyway. So actually I need a section structure for this content area. So let's just add another section and put that in the middle. Okay. How about we call it meat? It's like a sandwich, you know, it's right in the middle. We can rename these things anytime we want. You can have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Don't take it too seriously. Okay. This is going to be the inner, section. This is going to be the header and this is going to be the, inner for the header, which I think is pretty straightforward. Fairly simple header. We are going to need an image in there, which we can add later. That looks fairly straightforward. I think that's all we need for structure. I think that's all we need. The footer can honestly be, that can be a section structure as well. So we'll just call this footer and footer. Perfect. Okay. Let's make sure that this is in here with these things. So this is going to be called blog post Charlie. All right. I'll put the name up there. Now we're going to think about this in terms of BEM. I'm trying to figure out how granular we want to go with these selectors. So we have the header, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna BEM block all of these. So blog post Charlie header. You can get a little, it gets a little too wild if you tried to create everything involved with this template as children of the overall article. I think to me, that's a little bit too granular, okay? So blog post Charlie header, blog post Charlie, I'll call it the middle. Blog post Charlie footer, okay? And then this is the inner. Now all the selector names are gonna be tied to those, but because of how I name them, they're obviously all related to blog post Charlie. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy right there. For the inner, just to get us started, we need a heading and we need text. This is gonna be the title. This is going to be the lead. This is literally a lead, like in journalism, okay? Title of the post needs to be an H1. We have our lead here. And this is a little bit different because normally I would be building this in the actual template. But because this is a pattern library and I don't literally want this to be the template, we have to build this. We can't have dynamic data previewing. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do this all statically and then convert it to dynamic data and then test it in an actual template situation, like on my local install or something like that. Okay, so title of the post. This is going to be the lead. So that's like about 30 something words. And then we're going to come in, or characters. Yeah, that's definitely words. Okay, blog post Charlie, middle, inner. I'm gonna put in some dummy content and I'm just gonna go to Claude and say, give me dummy content for a sample blog post. I just need the raw HTML for the main content, no other HTML. I need a mix of paragraphs, subheadings, okay, H2 and H3. I need you to sprinkle in a block quote or two. Actually, I'll add my own block quotes. H2 and H3 and I'm gonna mix some paragraphs, subheadings, and lists. We need to make sure all bases are gonna look good here. All right, let's see what Claude spits out. Claude, you don't need to gather any thoughts, Mike. It's not that difficult. Okay. This is what we wanted. This is what we asked for. Fantastic. Great, great, great. Okay, I didn't tell it how much. I don't know how crazy it's going to go here. Is that the end? Are we done? Okay. All right, let's grab it and let's go get it. Bam. Okay, there's our ugly blog. Don't worry, it's going to get beautiful in just a minute. I'm just gonna leave the footer alone for right now. I don't know what I wanna do with that. So let's go blog post Charlie. Bam. Then I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna auto BEM each of these sections. Well, mainly just the first two. So create BEM and create BEM. This should not be a section, by the way. That should just be a div. Okay. And oh shit, it's probably gonna go, yeah, okay, we didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. Blog post, Charlie, header, inner, middle. Okay, good. Text, unordered list, get out of here. Nope. Middle heading, nope. Okay. Okay. That was almost a disaster. Imagine if there had been a lot more elements in there. Okay, let's go with let's do a block quote right off the bat. Command I, block quote with attribution. Boom, there it is. Okay, that's styled by automatic CSS, but the HTML came in via the new command I, quick inserter from the top rope. Okay, the people's elbow. Straight. I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't know what I'm saying right now. All right. Undo this one. Okay. Okay. All right, great. So just for my sanity purposes, on blog post Charlie middle, I'm going to put smart spacing. Smart spacing, okay. Did I put that on the, yeah, it needs to be on the inner. Smart spacing, there we go, okay. Now we're looking a little bit better here. Okay, thinking about this inner is where I want content grid to go. So I'm gonna go question mark, content grid, Shazam, and I'm gonna go content width of something like 60 characters, 70 characters, 80 characters. Okay, hold on. Oh, you know what? This might not be what we want. I'm just gonna copy that out, go to blog post Charlie middle. I think we want it here. Do we want it here? We might need it in both places, honestly. We might need it in both places. Yeah, we need a normal content width there. We need a double content width or double content grid. I think we need a double content grid. We need a nested content grid. That's what we need. We need a nested content grid. Let's fire it off again. Fire it one more time. You can nest content grid an unlimited amount of times. And now the content width here can be 60, but this leaves our container at the real content width. But content width, well, you gotta spell it right. You gotta spell the things right. 60, 70, look at us go. Look at us go. All right, so in here, that's got a touch, but we need padding inside. We need padding inside, padding block inside. So let's go in here. We need in the middle, padding block, and that's gonna be section space M. Because I just need section spacing. That's all I need. I don't even know what I'm looking at. We don't need ballerinas anymore. See, the ballerinas can exit stage left. Let's see what we've got going on with our blog post template. Okay, that should be correct because the bounds of the inner are right. Wait a minute. No, I did this in the wrong place. Get rid of that there. We need it on the inner. There we go. There we go. Let's go right click, get a little white in the background there. Okay. Now let's tackle the header. The header, I think we can fire off a little content grid in as well. Actually, it would want to be the same probably. Well, I don't know. Do we really need it? Maybe not. Maybe let's just go. Let's go padding block. Let me look at the design again. Oh, hold on. We got a little. Yeah, well, the header's gonna have to offset. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, padding block, section space M, and padding inline of gutter. And then this, you know what? Content width. Oh, I don't think these can inherit. I don't know that these can inherit. I mean, they can, but it's gonna affect this one. This inner, this one, where did I put? Padding block, background color, begin content grid. Did I remove it and never put it back? Hold on. Oh, I must have removed it. Okay, I don't know what I did. Okay, well, that's done more specific there. So, I don't know, let's just see how, yeah, that's still gonna affect it. That's not exactly what we want. I don't know that, I can just do this. Inline, size, content. Oh, no, because it got redefined way up here. So that's gonna be an inheritance problem. We shouldn't do that. Let's just do it right here. And it's kind of manual where we gotta match this content width in both places, which I don't like, because now I got two 70s statically floating around. It makes me very uncomfortable. But it is what it is right now. So there might be a way to fix it. We'll tackle it. We don't want to get, you don't want to get hung up on that. You don't want to get hung up on that. All right, we're just going to center all this stuff apparently. So, but probably add a media query, right? Like when this gets down to here, it's all this shit should go left, you know? So let's insert a media query right here. And this greater or equal to 7, yeah, sure, okay. Let's go with flex column, align items to the center, and then text align to the center. And then that should just go left once it gets down to where we need it to be left. This is centered, right? Centered, and then this is left. That's all correct. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let's get an image in here. I'm getting a little uncomfortable with the lack of design. So, yeah. This padding block and padding gutter needs to go on this inner. There we go. Because this is just like a, yeah, it's a big thing out here. But that's 70 characters. Okay, I think yeah. I think we need the content with the content grid situation happening again. Maybe it's gonna help me if I can add a background color here. I need to start seeing the structure of this. Neutral, ultra light, bam. And then if this was, let's just give it a different color for right now. So let's give it, I don't care, black, right? I just wanna see the structure. Then it's gonna have a margin block start of like 1M. It's gotta have some sort of offset, right? There's your offset. This, how does that, oh, it's like a light gray. Okay. Oh, and this is overlapping. Okay. All right, no problem. So we're gonna go background, neutral. This is all gonna be neutral, ultra. Actually, do we wanna put that there? I don't think we want that there. We probably wanna be on the entire article. There we go. Beautiful. That's just done deal right there. That's just a done deal. Okay, oh boy, we're getting there. Oh, we're getting there. It might feel a little chaotic, friends, but we arrive where we need to arrive. Let's go ahead and instead of all of this background, this is just a placeholder. We need to get an image in here. So look at our structure. Our inner is really this part. This part, the blue. Yeah, the part that's actually selected. So I need to throw an image in there. We're gonna call this featured image wrapper. We're gonna call this featured image. And then we're gonna go blog post Charlie header, double underscore, featured image. Copy to the clipboard, come in here. Featured image. Oh yeah. This is hold on. This was supposed to be the wrapper. Featured image wrapper. This is the featured image. Perfect. Put something in there for me. How about, where's a good one? Okay. Use this media. And what we want to do is we want to take this inner, position this relative, and then we want to go to our image, maybe the entire figure. Probably the entire figure. Let's right click, position this absolute. Actually, why am I doing that? Is BG. Boom. Give me that recipe. Is position relative, isolation of isolate. Okay, it was doing all that for us. That's not a problem. Okay. Inline size BG width 100%. Block size BG height 100%. To image, object fit, object position, inner position relative. Yes. Okay. Why? Let's look at this recipe. What has this recipe done? Has me position relative isolation of isolate. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Let's go to the front end. Gotta inspect this. What is, it seems like an image dimensions problem. Figure, absolute, 0. But the dimensions are set, 100%, 100%. object fit cover, Z index -2, pointer events none. Why is it overflowing? Maybe we need it to be on the, no, you can't put it on there. Let me just do this manually real quick. Position. Oh, wait. Yeah. That should be right. That should be right. I want this to take up the entire figure, or the entire container right there, the entire inner. So position absolute. Top, let's just do it manually. Yes. Inline size, only 100%. Block size is 100%. Oh, that's, no, that should still be, there we go. Wasn't the recipe doing that though? Come on now. I'm pretty sure I saw it doing that. Right here, selecting a direct child that's an image. Oh, okay, it wasn't doing it. This needs to be there. Okay, we'll make a little tweak, tweak. All right, let's go in here, inner, section space L, XL, there we go. Okay, now we need an overlay. We can put this in the figure. There's a couple ways to do an overlay, but I've noticed that on patterns and templates, if you put an explicit element in here, this is not typically the way that I do it, but if you do this explicitly, I mean, you could do, let's try maybe, there's another technique. It doesn't always work for me, and it does take away your ability to use borders. I don't think we're gonna need a border on this figure. So border image, I gotta try to remember off the top of my head. It's like fill one linear gradient, and then let's just do two top red, blue, border image, fill one linear grade. That should be it. I don't think I have, oh, that doesn't even expand. Okay. All right, let's do it the manual way. I feel like that border, fill one linear gradient. Let's just ask Grok real quick. Border image, fill, is it fill one? Is it fill one linear gradient to top red blue. What's wrong with this? Let's just see if it gives us a quick answer. We can maybe still take that route. It's a race. Grok wins. Fill one, the main problem with this declaration is the order of the values. It's invalid. Border, slice, fill one, linear gradient, two top. You almost always want one as the slice value and using gradients for borders. Whatever. Watch it not work. Watch it not work anyway. Let's go here. Border, image. Oh, you know what it probably is? I bet the image, okay, that's probably what, okay, I don't know. By the way, there's contractors here. You might hear some noise. Like a vacuum, some other stuff, is what it is. Okay, blog post Charlie header inner. I don't know that this should be called inner. Blog post Charlie header. Let's call this structure. Because we're gonna need, I think, another inner. I don't know. Structure. I change my mind sometimes. Okay. Because like what's gonna happen on it is gonna have a gutter. I think it needs a group. Like it needs an inner. Like that's why I changed this. This needs to be inner. Blog post Charlie header inner. Okay? And we put the lead in there because now what I can do, I can flex this, I can gap it. But now I have control over the inline size of this, where I can come in and say like this is 40 characters, 60, 70, something like that. So it's a bit more contained this way. Border image, fill one, linear gradient. Oh, you know what? No, I don't think you're right. I don't think you're right. I don't think that works. We could try it later, but you know what? We're not getting paid right now. We just gotta make this work. So let's go inside of our structure. We are actually inside of our figure. We're gonna put a div, and we're gonna say this is our overlay, and we are going to say blog post Charlie header featured image overlay, and we will say. I always hit the wrong is BG. And this is gonna have the same potential problems. I think this inline size block size thing, no, inset 0. We don't need to repeat that. Background red. Z index -2 overlay. Where are we at? I clearly need to fix this recipe because it's supposed to just work out of the box. Position absolute, inset 0, border radius 0. All right, I'm going to the front end. Sometimes it's easier to debug here. What's going on? Inspect, article, div, figure. Figure takes up the whole thing. Div, there's my image. There's that. If I have inset of 0, background is red. It's a Z index issue. That makes sense, I think. Because what did I probably reset, I don't know. I probably reset the stacking context or something. Z index 1. Okay. And then what we're going to do is take that background. Check this out. You guys ready? I don't know if you're ready for this. I don't know if you're ready for this or not. We're going to go right click and I want neutral relative. Shazam. And relative gives me this relative color syntax where I can immediately go transparency, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever I want to do. And then we're going to go color is text light. Okay, perfect. And then, oh, that's on my overlay. Can't do that there. We need text light on the inner probably. I love how I can just, I don't know if you guys are watching this, right? But you know, when you fill out inputs in a styling panel and you're like, fuck, I need that somewhere else. You notice how fast I'm just taking the entire property and value and just take it away and go put it on something else? Like you shouldn't discount the amount of time that saves you. Like it just saves an ungodly amount of time. I mean, we are rocking and rolling on this situation. Now, the only thing that irks me is that if I want a radius, I'd have to put it on the top of this element and the bottom of this element, or whatever comes last, in this case, the footer that we haven't even built yet. And so that's not a good situation. That's not a good situation. What we want is a wrapper, okay? Wrap in div, and we're gonna call this the blog post Charlie section group. Blog post Charlie section group, okay? And then we're gonna make sure all of our sections are in that group. And then all we're gonna do with this is set a radius. And then we're gonna say overflow of clip should get us to where we wanna go. And of course it doesn't. So now we're going to go figure out what had happened there. Inspect, div, header, parlor, section. Oh, that's right. That's right. Can't do that either. Don't know what I was thinking, because that's just literally around everything. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, I got a different solution. Pivot, quick pivot. We go blog post Charlie. Well, let's think about this. Yeah, let's do it programmatically from here. The header needs to come first. Let's go. So here's one where, I mean, we're going to hope that they did semantic. We're going to hope that they use semantic things. I mean, nobody should change this. It should always be a header. It should always have the header and the div and the footer. The div doesn't matter because it doesn't need a radius. Let's go border radius, top right, bottom left. Okay, so top left radius, top right radius, 0, 0. Okay, overflow clip. Oh, no, this is still not. Header, whatever's in the header. This is why you need to go to selector school. Okay, and actually, you know what? Fuck this. This could be combined. Is header, footer, direct children. Grab this, delete that. Okay. Yeah, can't combine them. Custom radius. Overflow clip. We want to figure out what needs to be combined and what doesn't. Custom radius is radius 0, 0. Bang. Then this gets duplicated to the footer, which gets reversed. I think it is. You can see it down there. See it? We just don't have a footer yet. And actually, I'm thinking maybe make this. Well, yeah, that still wouldn't work if you didn't have a footer. So I could say, we could do. I don't know. Could do like a first of type, last of type situation, or first child, last child situation. Maybe a first child, last child situation might be the way to go. It might be the way to go. Let's hide this for a second. I'm just playing around. Let's hide this for a second. Is header is last child is first child custom radius. These would actually stay here, but they would become first child, last child. God, I love that. I think I love that even more. It doesn't rely on the semantics now. It only affects direct children, which would be the sections of this blog post. But what this gives you is, if, let's say you nix the footer. Just stick with me here. Let's say you nix the footer. We're trying to think about in systems. We're trying to think about flexibility. If I nix the footer, I'm going to copy this. This one gets the radius, guys. This one now gets the radius. I love that even more. I just love that even more. Okay. So article needs a, you know what? What happens if I go section space M on this whole entire article, and then I take this margin block, let's just, that works even more beautifully. I'm loving this. Look at our little footer chilling down there. Now we have space at the bottom. Let's refresh. We're rocking and roll. Look, oh my God, this is getting so beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, now what we need is this little overlap situation that's going on right here. And a good way to do this, depending on what you need, We could use a pseudo element. We could use a linear gradient. We could use but I'm gonna go pseudo element because that's gonna give us the maximum flexibility. If we went with a linear gradient background, it would not support background images. You wouldn't be able to put a faded background image back there if perhaps you wanted to. You might be limited on your pattern selection if you needed a pattern to be back there. A pseudo element is probably the most flexible way to go. And it's just gonna be on the article itself, okay? So we're gonna whip up a quick little before, and we're gonna say content is nothing for right now. Our block size is going to be 20 VW, let's try. Background of red, let's just get a box on the page, display flex. Inset block start of 0, inset inline start of 0. Let's go position absolute, position absolute, Z index 1, or no, we need isolation of isolate. I also probably did I do something wrong here? Where did we go? When I went position absolute, it did not. Oh, I know why. Position, well, maybe I know why. Article, position relative. Isolation of isolate should be fine there. Let's go inspect. Got to be able to inspect your shit. You know, this is, okay, position absolute, inset blocks, inset inline start, background of red, block size of 20 VW. It probably doesn't have an inline size. Probably has no inline. Got to give it dimensions, guys. If your box has no dimensions, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Inline size 100%. Okay. I see the problem immediately. This does not belong on the article. This is going to have to go on, it's going to have to go on the header situation. But the header should not be, and it's not, I don't think, position relative. Inset block start, inline start 0. This needs to be, this is a real legit element, and it's getting a fucking radius, and some other stuff's going on. So let's switch it to the, let me see what's going on here. Inspect, header, before, content, Charlie header, header, first child. Blog post Charlie, header, first child is getting the custom radius. Well, you know, that shouldn't affect the oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, that fixes that. Got to be we're about to actually do a combinators lesson. You got to be very careful with direct children versus non-direct children. Got to be very, very careful with that. And I'm moving fast. You have some of these oversights sometimes. What I'm really miffed about this article, see, that would be good. We might want to do that but this should override. This before should be able to attach itself to the article, and that padding should not be accounted for. Featured image wrapper. It's that right there. The featured image wrapper's catching it from the, okay, got it. Okay. All right, that's solvable. So let's go with header, before, that's fine. We go back here, we take this to the end and take it off the top. We go back to our header. Margin block start is where our offset happens. That's also equal to section space M. Holy crap, what are you? Oh, that's, okay. That's not gonna be able to detach itself ever. Well, that should be fine then. Maybe, no, that's not gonna work either. That's not gonna work either. Structure, Enter. Let's relook at this header. I'm trying to figure out why this is sticking itself. Because this is not relative. This header is not relative. This blog post is relative. If I gave this a background of red, oh, something's real off. I almost feel like overflow clip. That's on the first child, last child. Blog post Charlie taking this. That's why it's positioned right. I think it's being clipped. I think it's being clipped. Position. Hold on, I gotta lock in. I gotta lock in real quick. That was that. Where's the clip happening? The clip should really only be on. Oh, that's the problem with. Well, that's a problem for sure with this recipe. Somebody that oversights me with recipes, like Kyle, if you guys are here, make a note. That's. Yeah, we can't go position, relative, isolation, isolate on every parent that has this thing. That's got to be a direct child selector. That's a bad one. Okay. Let's go back to this. Header, 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 header. What are you doing down there? Okay. Structure. Visually, I keep thinking this is the header, and that's not. Jeez Louise. Sometimes you just need, maybe you need a break. Maybe you need, like, take a hint. Get a cup of coffee. Okay. All right. Now we got to get our radius situation working again. So if you come from blog post Charlie to get the first child and the last child, I believe we need their inners, right? Their inners. Blog post Charlie. I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to, just until we get it working, and we're going to border check it. That's it right there. There's that. Okay. Let's not even do, we already kind of have a radius value, so we don't even need the custom radius. Let's just, that's a little over engineering. All right, now we're back in action. Now we're back in action. Hey. Now we're back in action. Okay. All right, I'll explain that in just a second. Because the structure is a little bit wild here. Okay. We have our overlap now. Let's go to our before. And then what I'm going to do is, probably to make this easy for people to edit, we're going to say overlap BG. Okay. And that's probably overlap amount. Okay, let's call this an accent overlap and make it have an amount. with a fallback of 20 VH. And then this is going to be the accent overlap BG with a fallback of OKLCH from black, LCH, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.2. Okay. 20 VH. Oh yeah, that's actually that's going to be mapped to that. So we want to be careful there. 30 VH. I can say like max block size 50 VH. I don't know. 30 VH something. I don't know. I was doing some calculations in my head. Okay, so we want this accent overlap amount, this accent overlap BG. I think that's probably all. Go to blog post Charlie and just drop those in. Okay, and so that can be changed from here. There we go. Look at us go. Look at us go. So I'm just going to go neutral, ultra, light. Actually, it needs to be light because it's got to be a different color. And we'll set that at 30. I'm going to take away the max. Just let people do whatever they want, you know? We don't have to be like the government here. Just let them do their thing. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. This is, oh, I added my footer back, but if we didn't have a footer, we can test that real quick. So let's just copy this, kill it, go to the front. There's your radius on the bottom, looking good. That's all programmatic. That's all unbreakable. That's what we're looking for. I don't even know that I'm going to put a footer on here, you know? Let's just kill it right here. We got our little blog post. Now, what we're going to do, grab it, copy it, go to local, go to there's our little ballerina. Let's go launch Etch. Let's go to templates. Let's go to index. Let's take away post content. Let's drop our article in there. Let's open this bad boy up. Let's come in here and go this .title. We need a custom field for that. Let's come in here to our image, featured image, and we're going to go, ooh, first time testing this featured image. And I don't know if we need, don't know if we need dot relative. I got to remember. I wonder if that's, oh, okay. We might be seeing, maybe there's a little, we're putting this thing through its paces here. Maybe there is no featured image. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of content we got on this website. Posts, hello. I got one post. Let's go back to, I didn't say my work over there. Let's make sure this has a featured image. This actually has no content. What had happened in this post? All right, let's get out of, you know what? Let's just kill that whole post. Let's just trash. Add post. Okay. Post, set featured image. Here's our featured image. Oh, this is all, we were experimenting with a bunch of stuff on here. Notice I don't even have the header of the thing. This is, yeah. We were trying to figure out how to have a real actual preview. What I should probably do, okay, let me rename it here. Rename. Okay, my awesome blog post. Save. All right, and I think you go, it's in one of these stupid, where is it? Is it template? Show template. Okay, that gets you back to here. We don't have a template yet, so that makes sense. Okay, this is some content. Obviously, we're gonna need more, but let's head back to our template now. Let's go to templates. Let's go to index. My awesome blog post. I feel like this is unable, this image is seemingly unable to pull in Oh, is it like ID? Do we even have that? We might need to add a key. Featured image. I need the image. Here we go. Image ID. That's probably what I need. I need just image this dot. Was it? Okay. Thank God for JSON preview. Am I right, friends? Am I right? Okay. There we go. There we go. Now this inner, just kill all of this. Whoops. Doop. Get out of here. Don't need you. Don't need you. Or you, or you, or you. Okay, inside the inner, we drop in a content slot, post content. And now, oh dear, where are we? Where have we gone? Here we go. I need to go out. Okay, I need to get to my post. My awesome blog post. Am I doing this in the right place? Have I done this in my index? I placed it in the wrong spot. Copy. Okay, let's get that out of there. Let's go here. Yeah. What am I doing? Did I click index? Like, what an idiot. It's a little copy paste. No big deal. No big deal. No need to fret. Okay. This is designed to be a blog post template when you have an overlay header, but whatever. So now what we would be able to do, kind of quick like, you go out here and you go to ACF. Oh, I don't have ACF? Okay. Golly. Advanced custom fields. You can get away with the free version. You don't need the pro version. Activate. I mean, honestly, you could maybe get away with Etch here. I don't know. Could you? It's been forever since I've even tried this. Custom field groups. Product is in. I mean, maybe we should just try it. I just need a text field. All I need is a little text area field. Blog post lead. That's all I need. I don't need anything crazy. It is required. No, it's not even required. Let's not even make it required. Create custom field. I haven't even done this in like months because this is kind of a POC area. That stands for proof of concept for those of you who are a little behind. Let's get rid of this and this. I am so tabbed out right now. Oh, I'm just closing stuff that I don't even need to be closing. Okay. Get me back to where I want to be. My awesome blog post. Is it there? Okay. This is my custom lead. I added it with Etch. I didn't even need that sorry ass plugin ACF. No, ACF's a good plugin. ACF's a good plugin. We're just going to kill it. It's not going to be needed. In the very near future, it's just not going to be neat. It's just be one of those things in the pile of, yeah, those were great in era 2 and 3. We just don't need them anymore. We don't really have much use for them. So let's launch Etch. Let's go to the single post template. Let's go here and let's say this dot meta dot. What did I call the key? What did I call the key? Post, meta, blog post lead. I told you my short-term memory is garbage. Absolute garbage. It's too easy. It's almost too easy. Okay. So now we've verified our little blog post template works. We can go back to Claude. Okay, I don't know. I'm not even gonna worry about it. You could just believe me, right? We could just put in a bunch of content and it would work in our post, right? My awesome blog post. This is some content. Here's some more. Here's a heading. Here's a list. How's it look? Here's some heading. Here's some content before a list. Here's some content after a list. Save. Okay. Oh, you know what we should do though? Drop in an image. We can go upload. No, we can go media, library. We can grab this one. We can select it and we can try something. The reason we did content grid, what's the whole reason we did content grid? Let's make sure that this is in the spot where it's supposed to be. Figure, there's, there it is. Okay, let's go to advanced additional CSS classes. Content feature max. And I don't know. Oh, look at us go. You now have control and flexibility over those spanning all the way out. Taking up the whole thing. Or most likely, because the headers, you would just want to be in like a feature max situation. Bam. That will break outside the bounds of the content width. By the way, you can control the spacing of all of these things with automatic CSS. If you're an automatic CSS user, you can come in here, your figures, you have total control over how much those are spaced out from everything else. Your flow spacing, your captions, your block quotes, your paragraphs, your lists, your indented list items, this is, if you haven't seen that part of ACE, there's just everything around. There's just another door with goodies behind it, okay? All right, and then I think if you preview now, if you go to post and you go show template, you can write a blog post in your template. Guys, I don't know how to explain this to you. I don't know how to explain how good this experience is now. Now that I have a template, I can show the template in Gutenberg and write my content in the template. Stop it. It's too good. It's too much. Okay. We're going to have to go, wow, could you do that again? I didn't see what you typed on the right sidebar. I don't know. That floating head is in the way again. Oh, damn. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's a free stream, Okay. We'll do. I really want to get onto this bar down here. How are we doing on time? 1 o'clock, 11, 12, 1. Is that the 2-hour mark right there? That's a shame. I wanted to fit this little thing in here. All right, we're gonna go the extra mile. We're gonna do one more little component. I got a little hung up on that recipe being off. That one little bracket missing in that recipe threw me off for a minute. Okay, let's go. Content hub, layouts. What's this thing called? Menu bar alpha. Okay. Menu bar alpha, create layouts. Okay. Let's go over to menu bar alpha. We need no containers for this thing. We're just dropping a div in here. Menu bar alpha. First thing we want to do, I don't know the exact structure that we want yet. And we're going to have to think buttons versus links. That's going to have to be controllable. Did I show you guys I didn't show you guys exposed props. Oh boy. Let me just preview that for you real quick because you got to see this. This is just so easy. It's just so easy. Let's pause on this menu bar. Let's just dive over to local. Let's just go to local real quick. Okay, let's edit with Etch. Let's delete all this content. Check this out, okay? I'm gonna drop a div in here and I'm gonna say my parent component, okay? This is my parent component right here. And what is this going to be? Let's make it a header, okay? So it's like a header. All right, my parent component. We'll just say header. You guys get it, right? My my parent header, whatever. My demo header. My demo header. Okay, so we need an inner, obviously. Inner, let's put this way up here. Boom. Pretend I'm in the index template. Pretend I'm doing a header. Okay, this is just for demo purposes. I'm gonna go ahead and put an SVG in here. And well, you know what, we'll just leave it as the icon. That's fine. We don't need to go crazy with it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a button in here, okay? And I think I was working on an icon button. Let me go to patterns real quick. I need to grab, this is not published yet, but I was working on it and I just need to grab it. Layouts, button, icon button alpha. That's it right there. I need this. Give me this. Give me this. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Open, right click, copy. Thank you. And yep. And paste. Okay. There's my icon button alpha. All right. So I'm going to go demo header, inner. This is the logo. Let's right click. Let's create BEM. Let's take this inner. Let's go side to side. Let's go a little bit of a gap. Let's go space between. Boom, boom, shebang. Okay. This needs to be inline size of content width. That's fantastic. And a margin inline of auto. I could have used a section and evaded a bunch of that, but whatever. Let's also give this a background color of neutral ultralight. Okay, let's go look at this on the front end. Where are we? Where are we? Save, save, front end. Where are we? Oh, is it? I wonder if it's, let's put this in a section real quick. What's going on? Let's save. Let's go back to the front. Did I create a page template of some kind somewhere? Index 404, single post. Oh, you need a slot. I mean, you gotta have a slot. I don't know why. I must have removed that at some point and did that on accident. Okay. Save. Can we get our front end back now? Hey, look at that. Okay. And I actually don't want a header. I don't want, just get the header out of here. We don't need this. Okay. Let's go kill that. Kill that. Kill that. Kill that. Okay. No, I killed too many things. Killed too many things. Edit with Etch. Okay. Get this out of the section now. Go to the front end. Show me the money. Okay. Thank you. This needs padding block. I just do like 1M something. Okay. Padding inline of gutter. Okay. Can we just get on to the nested component situation? So this icon button alpha, we're going to put that in our header, but I'm going to make this a component. I'm going to exit. Okay. So that's a closed component. Can't click on anything, right? Can't do anything in here. I'm going to now put that button in there. So I'm going to say icon button alpha, bam. Now icon button alpha has all these props over here, okay? And we've got this new little button. Let's zoom in. Can I zoom in over here? Expose props to parent. But look at all this stuff. You could change all this stuff, like button primary would make it a primary button. I can even come in and choose different icons. I want a phone icon, or I want I still got oh no, that's actually, it's working. I need a home icon. I need, what else do I need an email icon, okay? I programmed this to have a bunch of little icon options in it. Let's do the right two. That's a little bracket situation. But see, I can manage all these props over here. But the problem is, when I save and I exit, I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing, okay? You don't have access unless you put it in a slot, okay? But sometimes we don't want a slot. Sometimes we're just like, hey, can you just take those props and just put it over, just give them over here, right? So now you can come in, watch how easy this is. You just click this button, expose props to parent, and you're gonna see them in here under icon button alpha, and I just hit save. And then I go exit, and here they are. Huh. So now on my demo header, I can now say, yeah, let's do that here, and let's do this here, and let's put the destination in, you know, special offer, okay? Okay, that one might not be working. I don't know if that label's hooked up. Let's actually go, let's add it out of here. Let's go, this is not, keep in mind, this is not a finished button yet, but let's see if that's a problem or if label, yep, it just has a static label. Look at that. That's what happens when they're not finished. Props.label. Now it works. Special offer. Okay. Boom, boom. So special offer 2, this, yeah, okay, good. Now that's working. I can choose the tag, whether that's an A or an actual button. I can choose the target, self or blank. I just exposed the props to the parent. And now when you add your header, it says, hey, here's all the icon button alpha props for that component that's sitting in there. This is like, yeah, so this is, so mixed for me says, is this an alternative to slots? It is. There are times where a slot is the better use case. That card that I put in earlier, where I need them to be able to put whatever content in there they want. Got to be a slot. It's got to be a slot situation. But this situation where it's like, there's a nested button and we're just gonna, you know, we don't want to make them put a button in here or have some sort of weird default button situation. We just want to expose the props to the parent so that they can change those button features, right? It's like, I mean, it's just too easy. It's just too easy now. And look at this. Did a little quick adjustment here where it's like, what if you want to unexpose them? Oh, well, you could just unexpose them. That's a little toggle. Expose, unexpose, expose, unexpose. What if you expose them? Check this out. What if you expose them, but you delete the button, okay? Well, those props are going to stay exposed, but look, because for data preservation purposes, it's going to say, hey, this is the ID of the nested component that you were using, and it's now gone. It's removed, but here's your data in case you did that on accident. Because what you can do is you can take this ID and go, oh shit, and you can go, we actually need that thing back, right? And you can go icon button alpha, right? Bam, bam. And I think what you can do is you can just I got to get the ID from, I copied the JSON instead. Let's edit with it. I can sneak in here, I think. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I got to right click it. Don't use the keyboard here. Don't use the keyboard. Okay, let's just go see. This was the idea behind this. That when you come back in, you can re-put the ID in here, and it should essentially, hopefully, map them right back. Okay? I don't know though. Clearly that still needs some stuff worked out of it. But that's the idea, is that you would essentially be able to rescue your data. But you can also come in once you've removed the component, right? It'll say, hey, removed. You can just delete that whole group. And so now you're not left with any baggage behind. So just to show you one more time, we do this, we put this button in, icon button alpha. We say, hey, I want to expose these props to the parent, save, exit, there they are. If for some reason I want to remove that button, I can delete the button and then delete only, I could have other props in here, right? Like you could have another prop, but the ones that are exposed from children are grouped together so that you can just delete the entire group if you need to get rid of, like you're not going to have that nested component anymore. So pretty flexible. And it's going to keep, remember this is like V1 of exposing props to the parent. So the UI for this is actually not done. That's not official. We're waiting on the UI team to submit some like polish for that little workflow. Oh yeah. I did it with the pound sign, so I probably broke it. All right, I mean, we can try it real quick. Let's go. Let's just see if it works. Icon, we can confirm or unconfirm the existence of a bug. So here's icon button alpha. All that stuff is exposed. Primary. It's actually remembering. That's interesting. Okay. All of my data, but let's say special offer 2. Okay. Let's edit component. Let's delete this button. I'm going to save it here, delete. Okay. Copy the ID. We want it without the pound sign, right? Okay. Let's add it back. Expose. This is where I don't know that it works. Because I think we're still going to get a duplicate group. Yeah. But it does show here. So maybe now what I need to do is just delete that secondary group. But it does give me my data back. So a little bit, maybe we need to polish the UX of that a little bit. But like functionality wise, it does what it's intended to do. I think we just need to make it obviously a little bit easier. We could also, I mean, one thing right off the bat that I recognize is when you have a deleted one, you could say like copy ID or something, a little icon to copy the ID. I don't know. There's some things we can do, but that is exposed props. I mean, this is just fantastic. You guys are going to love this. You start building with this, and in the situations where you need to expose the prop, it's just so nice. Okay, let's get back to what we were building real quick. So layouts, menu bar alpha. Okay, so we know we need a list of things. This is going to go edge to edge. So I'm thinking I can just go unordered list. Just pop an unordered list in. List item. Let's go. These are going to be icons, but they're also going to need to be, these are everything that you try to build online is a situation. Okay. There's just some hidden things you got to account for. So this is going to be phone, email. This is going to be directions. This is going to be offer. Let's have four items here. Now we're going to need a slot in this thing, I think. We're actually going to need a component, wrapper, and then a slot, and then kind of like a companion component that goes with this to make this as infinitely flexible or as flexible as possible. So this is going to be its own little situation. We're going to call this the list, the item, the item, the item, the item. I think that's good, actually. I think that's kind of all we need for right now. So let's right click, create BEM. Let's take this list. I don't know if Flex or Grid is going to be better right now, but I'm going to go with, actually, I'm not going to put any gap. I think the items probably just need some sort of padding. And probably inline size of 100%. And then I'm thinking that we just center everything will probably be the best way to do this. That'll keep everything proportionate. What happens if there's a long label? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Directions, that's all fine and dandy. Okay. Now we're gonna take this whole menu bar. I'm actually gonna design it up here because if I stick it to the bottom of the screen, it's gonna be really annoying to build. So I'm gonna leave it up here for right now. But what we need is, we need a structure like this, okay, where we have a span, and then this is the, okay, I'll do this in a minute. We need another span for the icon. So I'm gonna call this icon, and I'm gonna call this label, item label, item icon. So we have an item, an item icon, and an item label. Let's get rid of these and let's duplicate this. Actually, before I do that, let's get the selectors on there. So menu bar alpha, item icon. And then this is going to be the item label. Perfect. And then we have the item all together. I really like that. Okay. And then this is going to get gapped, but probably half of the gap. So we'll just drop a little calc on there. Actually, we don't need to be cute. Let's go like 0.5 em. They don't need to be too far away from each other. Okay, this just needs to be the icon. I'm wondering now if I even need a span for that. I could have just gone item icon here. I don't think I need oh shit. I don't think I need a span. No, not an iframe. What are we doing? SVG. Okay, item icon. Menu bar alpha item icon. There we go. Okay, so we got my icon, we got my label. We need a little bit of center alignment here. Icon definitely needs to have its size controlled. Inline size, icon size. And then the default is gonna be 1M. Now, let's go huge icons. Let's get like a home icon. Okay, home. Oh, really? 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 It's gonna log me out? Okay, icons, home. Can you just not give me like where's a normal home icon? All right, let's go download. Let's go new folder, menu bar, home. Let's go phone. Look, they don't have any. I was running this problem the other day. They don't have any old school phones. They like, we got to live in the modern era here with the phones. How about call? Does call get me what? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. Let's download this phone. Pin. What are the location? Map. That's gonna give me actual. Okay, this'll do. Let's use this one. Location. Offer. What do we want? Dollar. Currency. What do we? Oh, ticket. Ticket. You want a ticket? Voucher. Ticket. How about this one? I don't know. Dude, I'm mixing solid icons and outline icons. Designers are having an absolute stroke right now. It's okay though. I like to, this is how I harass designers. I make them watch this. Downloads. Look at this. We're just gonna mix and match. Get off me. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Bam. Okay. We just want, this is just placeholder content for right now while we get our design going. I'm pretty sure with menu bar alpha, we're gonna want some semblance of, yeah, box shadow for sure. Box shadow. So let's go box shadow. Let's go 0, 0, 40 pixels, 0, red. Make it super ugly for right now until we figure out our offsets. And the only way to figure out our offsets is to temporarily margin block start of 200 pixels or something. Now we can see, because we need the shadow to come out the top. Minus 10 pixels. Which one's the vertical offset? Minus 10 pixels, minus 10 pixels. No, this one's, I think this is left and right. Minus 10, margin blocks are 200, or box shadow. Minus, wait, why am I not able to? 50 pixels, 0, 0, 4. Oh, I threw in an extra 0. Don't do that. Don't do that. This, holy crap. That's supposed to be there. That's supposed to be there. Okay. Okay, that's the inline axis. Minus 40 pixels. Thank you. Sheesh. 20. 10. Minus 10. You gotta like pull it in. 20. 30. I'm terrible at this, by the way. 40 minus 20. That's getting to where I want it to be. That's getting to where I want it to be. Now, it's a little aggressive. So you drop in. This is the new way. This is the new way, kids. Okay. From black, LCH 0.1. Okay. 0.2, 0.3, 0.2, 0.3. Okay. For this, for other people. So you got to have a fallback. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Okay. Remember, this is going to be stuck to the bottom of the screen. So the bottom doesn't really matter all that much. But that's pretty nice. Now we want, I think we want a divider on each item. We could do this with border. We could do this with pseudo elements. You guys know my preference. My preference, typically you go pseudo element route. Blank content, inline size is gonna be the width of the thing. That's about a pixel. Block size is gonna be 100%. Display at flex. Position, we could do absolute, I think. Left 0, top 0, background red. Okay, content 1, block size 100%, display flex, position, and then position of relative. Hey, we got some dividers. This is a before element, so you don't want it on the first item. And not first of type. Hey, got some dividers going on. All right, we're gonna go, where is that? Okay, that's fine. Let's just go, instead of red, neutral, ultra light. Actually, for ACSS people, this is border color dark. And then we just need a fallback for non-ACSSers. Okay, so that's sweet. Now let's figure out, let's stick it to the bottom of the screen. Position, fixed, and then just go like this and this, and then inline size it, 100%. We're rocking and rolling, my friends. We need a display of menu display with a fallback of none. And then we need to decide where do we want it to show up. I don't know, like 950, 949. Let's go with you just need a media query here. And this needs to be less than 951. And say menu display is flex, block. Okay, check this out. Watch it. Whoop, whoop. Look at this. Look at us go. Why do these icons get so big? 1M. What are we doing here? I have a feeling that this is no longer, where did this get disconnected from? Label, icon size 48 pixels. 38, 28, 24. Icon, might be coming from the icon framework. I gotta put a fallback in for these people. Okay. I'm gonna say menu icon size. This is gonna make sure that we're not in a territory of icon framework. That looks pretty good. That looks, we could do 1M, I think now. Oh no, because we're not gonna have the labels. We're not even gonna have labels. So let's go 28 pixels. Let's take menu icon size, map that to here. Wait a minute, yeah. 28 pixels, that's fine. Okay. Can I still change it from here? I can, okay. 28 pixels, that's gonna be a prop for our component. I think, if these have to be children, holy smokes, we gotta undo some stuff we did, because we gotta think more in systems here. Menu bar alpha item. This needs to be its own, I mean, it can have the same classes, whatever. It can have the same classes. That kind of signifies that it's still a child, but we're gonna take that menu icon size over to the child. Okay, that's where we need to be setting that. Menu bar alpha just needs to control menu bar things. And then the menu bar alpha item needs to control its things. And you see here, it's nice and responsive to how many items are in there. That's nice, okay? So watch what we're gonna do, friends. Watch what we're gonna do. I'm going to start here, right click, create component. We have menu bar alpha item, which is essentially going to be label and media for icon. And I think here you actually want to go with the URL. And I think, is that all we need? No, we need a Boolean of show label. And that's going to be off by default because I'm guessing most people are not going to want to show the label. And that I'm going to make the icon the primary thing. So if we have an icon like home and we have a label like home and we have a show label off, we're going to wrap the label in a condition and just check that props.show label now gone. We have the item icon, which we are going to map the source to props.icon. We have the item label here, even though I can't see it, I have access to the code, so I can say props.label, and I just know that when that label comes back, it's gonna have the correct label. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, my Boolean has a problem here. Prosp. Doesn't work that well. Doesn't work nearly as well as props. Did I fix it? Dude, props. I think I exited before it finished. Hey. Okay, so custom label. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now, here's what we're gonna do though. I don't know. Hold on, friends. Hold on. We got, nope. It's okay. I was thinking maybe we need to do this as hidden accessible. So this serves as the accessibility text and we just hide it visually. But I have a backup plan of an ARIA label where we just repeat props.label. Okay, so you would say, now, what if the person feels like, well, I'm not gonna show the label, so I'm not gonna fill it out. I hate flexibility. I hate having to, you share this with the masses, you know, things can go sideways quick. You got to think of these things. All right. We're not going to do this with a condition. We are just going to do this with, we're going to pass the value of props.showLabel to a data attribute. Data, where do we want to put this? Menu bar alpha item, data show label equals props.showLabel. That's going to resolve as true or false. We're going to come down to the label, the item.label. Okay. Hidden, I don't have a hidden accessible. Oh. Let's think about how to do this. Props.show label. I could just, but if they're not an ACSS user, they're not going to have the hidden accessible class. Okay. ACSS to the rescue. We just need to go to the back end. Here, you can go on the trip with me. No, that's the badge. I don't need that. Okay. Okay. Yep. Sweet. Now wrap. Okay. So, here's how we do this. Here's how we handle this. We're passing the value of show label to here as data show label. And that is, so what we're going to do is we're going to check for the presence of data show label equals false. If it is false, select me. okay? And then nudge all this in there. Okay? So hold on. If show label's false, we are hiding the label. So it's saying data show label, and then essentially repeating this selector right here. And we're gonna do this. Let's just see if that worked. One thing at a time. Okay. This serves as, okay, now guess what? This whole thing. Oh gosh, okay. Oh gosh. I don't like this. I don't like that. Okay. I gotta take all this because we forgot we forgot an important part of this. Wrap in div. Trigger. Menu bar alpha item trigger. Or I'm just gonna say trigger. Screw it. Trigger. Nah, item trigger. Item trigger. This needs to be the link or the button. The link or the button. Okay? Are we with me? And so now the trigger gets all those styles. And save. Inline size 100% max. And you can't do that in a styling input though. I'll tell you that right now. Just grabbing whole chunks of styles and be like, nah, I need those over here. Okay. Menu bar alpha item li. It's always going to be a list. So that's fine to have there. Then the A. Oh, this does need to stay at inline size. 100%. There we go. Okay. So let's exit. Awesome. I need a second item, a third item, a fourth item. Look how flexible I am. I can even show the label, you know, on individual items. Which now I'm thinking, damn, is that really a good idea? I don't think that's a good idea, friends. Holy smokes. I don't think that's a good idea. You don't want Bev, you know that's the first thing Bev's gonna do. She's gonna put a label on one of them and not the others. And we don't want her doing that. We do not want her doing that. But the good news is, I think I just need to move this prop. Let's just take show label off there. So delete that off here. And I'm gonna go to exit. And I'm gonna go to my menu bar alpha. And we're gonna finally make this a component. And we're gonna put that boolean on here. And I'll call it show labels. Because that now, we're talking plural now. That'll be off by default. I'll pass data show labels to the entire menu bar. Props.show labels. And then what I'll do, I'll exit this. I don't want all those components in here. We need to put a slot in this bad boy. Shazam, Shazam, items, save, exit. Now from the outside, I can drop in an item. Bam. And on here, I can control in a second the visibility of those labels. So let's go to show labels. Show labels. Just a couple little tweaks, little twerks. Nah, I don't know about that. All right, let's go debug. All righty, friends. Where are we at? Where are we at? ID, Etch, menu bar, alpha. Is this not published? Is that the problem? Edit layout. No, it is. What did we do here? What did we do here? What did we do here? Menu bar item, menu bar alpha. This is, all right. Where are we? Where is it? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Media, menu display, block. Oh, yeah. Dude, okay. I'm like, where did it go? But there's still a problem. When we get to... yeah. All right. Oh, you know what we may need to do? Okay, hold on. Stick with me. What we may need to do is put in some sort of like preview on desktop. There it is right there. I don't know why I'm not seeing it here. Reload. There it is. Okay. All right. We need like a preview on desktop. We need a or just preview in Builder. So it's like always, see, that's annoying. Okay, whatever. We'll figure that out in just a second. So I need to fix this situation with the show labels. I was going to the front end to inspect that. What is Whisperflow that's what's going on. Whisperflow was hijacking I was like, why am I not, it's not reloading. Okay, Whisperflow came in and started hijacking stuff. All right, so what we're gonna do is inspect this. We're gonna say data show labels is true. So that is there. Turn it off, save. Can you refresh, please? Is it refreshing? Okay, that must be the problem then. Data show labels. Props.show labels. Data show labels. Props.show labels. Looks to me like it's fine. I just have a feeling, is this page refreshing or not? Oh, there's finally false. Jeez Louise. Okay. Oh, that's where, no. Okay. At some point, I don't know. So there's some funny business going on. There we go. Okay. Home. Let's do this again. Data show label. Oh, am I putting data show labels in two different places? Don't do that. Do not do that. Okay. Let's make sure it's not on here still. It's not on there still. I feel like it should be working. Item label. The fucking S. Okay. Now from the parent, from the top rope, you can control them all. Now Bev can't screw it up. I had to do all that just for Bev. Understand me. I had to do all that just for Bev. I got to Bev-proof half this stuff. Okay. So now we don't want the labels. This I can say is the phone, right? This I can say is the location. Bam. This is going to be the ticket. Sweet. And if I need a fourth thing, I can have a fourth thing. Okay. Now we just got to finish up here, right? So our trigger has to have a destination, right? Destination. And we're going to go down to our A, give it a little href of props dot destination. Now it's got a destination. Item, that's fine. We need a select for the HTML tag, a button. Those are our two options, okay? Let's copy that. Let's right click, convert to dynamic element, pop in props.html tag. Now that's a dynamic element between links and buttons. In case you need a button, for like this call, I believe that's a button, my friends, because we're doing an action, right? We're triggering a call. That would be like a tell link, right? Tell 1 plus 888 plus 000 plus 0000. Something like that. 1 plus, yeah. And then let's just go look at this on the front end. Look at this on a mobile device. Here's our call. Let's inspect this and see what we look like in our DOM here. There's menu bar alpha. There's our list. There's our list item. That's an A. href. So if it's a button, they're gonna have to do a bunch of other things. I don't even know that we should not. I think it's just gonna have to be a link. It's just gonna have to be a link. Let's just put that back at a link. Let's just hard code it as a link. Okay. Destination. Okay, let's go to the front end. Did that save? That's saved. I don't know why it refuses to let me there's some funny business going on with my right click. All right, main, menu bar, UL, item A. There's the telephone. Whoops. Golly. Hey, do you want to open FaceTime? No, we don't want to call that number. But that is all working. So now we think to ourselves and we say, is there anything else the person might need to do here? They can add the icon. They can drop in their label. Okay. Phone. Oh, the item.label was made hidden accessible. They still have to, we still got to require them to put in the label. I'm wondering if we can do the icon's not going to have, okay, yeah, that's, Yeah, I mean, we really could have done this the initial way. I'm just an idiot. It's the same problem. It's going to require them to put in a label. I can just say required. Okay. And then just change that key. You can change the label and the key independently of each other. Okay. Let's see. Can you guys hear this? Let's see.
Finder, menu bar, toolbar, Steve Gribble XF application, controls, sound settings, button, actions available, to show details, image, group, Brave, menu bar alpha, Etch patterns, Brave, window, button, group.
Can you hear yes or no?
You are currently on a button, inside of a group, image, group.
Whoa. Chill out. Hey, relax.
image, less, leaving, toolbar, navigation, edit, visited, link, home, toolbar, navigation, visited, link, edit, less than script item, toolbar, navigation, closing menu.
You know what?
Voiceover off.
Be quiet for a minute. She talks too much. Let's come down here. ULLIA. Oh, did I leave the... I left the ARIA label on there. Gotta take the ARIA label off there. So that was on the icon, ARIA label, goodbye. Okay, now let's refresh. I really wish it would leave my structure panel open. It's killing me. Okay. Whoa. What are we doing here? Okay.
Voiceover, entering menu of toolbar, Etch, visit, link, phone, toolbar, navigation, visited, link, edit pattern, content list, visited, link, home, toolbar, visited, link, home, link, phone. You are currently on a link. To click the voiceover off.
still showing the ARIA label. I deleted you. Save. I feel like the front end is not refreshing for me because something's going on. It's hijacked I don't know if it's my screen sharing software. Something is like, at least that's how I feel. Now the SVG does not have an ARIA label. Now it should announce properly.
Toolbar. Howdy. Visited. Link. Phone. List. Toolbar. Navigation. Visited. Link. Phone. List 3 items. Visited. Link. Home. Visited. Link. Home. Toolbar. Voiceover off.
Okay. So all you need is the proper labels in here. So this is going to be directions. Okay. And then the destination, whatever. And then this is going to be special offer. Okay, whatever. Now that should all be fine. And I'm trying to think now, should this be a nav technically? Like it should be a kind of a nav. We could call it like quick options or something. Not really sure. I'm not sure technically how they would recommend handling this.
Toolbar. Entering Etch. Visited. Link. Phone. List 3 items. Visited. Link. Directions. Visited. Link. Special offer. Voiceover off.
Okay, that works there. All right, I'm gonna think about this more in terms of we might drop a nav in here, and then that's gonna make it a landmark. It's gonna be something that they can actually skip directly to. I mean, I feel like it's just a switcheroo, just like that. You know what I'm saying? I think we could just do that. You should just do that. ARIA label equals quick options or something. I don't know. So it's like the quick options navigation or the, we want something that makes it like, it's not like the main nav of the site, right? Like we got to kind of make that clear. I'll sleep on it or something. Okay. I think I'm just going to quick answer some questions. I think we're done enough for now. Can they use skip links on mobile? Man, really good question. Yeah. We are only doing this in the context of mobile. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they can. Because it's not like a mobile or non-mobile. The DOM is the DOM. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter what you're previewing at. This is what a screen reader sees. This is it's there, right? It's there. It's gonna find. It's gonna read it. Well, except for the fact there is one caveat. We are using display none to hide it. Which is another question. That's another accessibility question. Should we be using another technique, or is it because display none does take it out of the screen reader flow? A screen reader will not read out display none items. And we are using display none. We're going to have to do a little bit of, I'm going to have to do some debating with my LLM friend and run it through, I kind of say like, hey, debate me, and I'm going to make a bunch of cases for why it should not have accessibility or something, and make it the advocate of accessibility, and have it argue for all the reasons why you should do something like this or this or this. When this is a gray area. Like go to the accessibility documentation. I guarantee it doesn't have a section on how do you make a mobile only quick navigation bar fully accessible, So a lot of this is open to interpretation. But I think that's a discussion that needs to be had for sure. Can you use a condition to show on mobile instead of display? No. Conditions are PHP. They don't have access to the viewport dimensions, right? So conditions are show hide based on some sort of, but the viewport is not one of the conditions. Are there plans to include AI code writer, editor, debugger into the Etch editor? Yes. You could make the menu vertical on desktop, but most people don't want these menus on desktop like this. It could be an option, but this is really designed for mobile. Can you show that showing hiding labels from the parent again, how you implemented it? You quickly went by it while troubleshooting the props.label issue. Yeah, it's fairly easy. Like on the parent component, you create a Boolean called show labels. You go to the actual parent item. You pass that via data show labels, just whatever you want to name your data attribute, and you pass that into that data attribute. And then from one of your child components, because remember, these all get assembled into the DOM. Like they're not really like separate things. There's no wrappers. So when I go into the, what was it? The label, item label, right? Let me zoom in. Here we go. So menu bar alpha item label, and I nested, and this is the technical part, the advanced part, is usually you'll see these ampersands like this, or you'll see a space. Ampersand would mean find any menu bar alpha item label that has this data attribute. Well, this thing doesn't have the data attribute. The parent has the data attribute, right? If I put a space, it would say find menu bar alpha item label with a child that has this data attribute, but this doesn't have any children with this data attribute. What's happening is the parent has the data attribute, and we need to select this child when the parent has this data attribute exists on a parent. I don't even care what parent it is, actually. So we don't have to identify the parent specifically. So what we do is we just say data show labels equals false. And this is confusing because we're inside of this. But this is a trick with CSS nesting. And the trick is that if you call the me selector, the ampersand selector, after something else, it will be like you wrote it like this. Let me go back to the style sheet. It'll be like you wrote it like this. See what I'm saying? So it's finding, hey, there's a parent with this data attribute, and it's got this child. Here's the styles. So we're flipping the script a little bit. And the good thing about that is everything is self-contained, because whether this is displayed or not is decided by the parent, but the instructions for that are on the child, right? So it should live with the child. And the way we make it live with the child is by flipping this ampersand selector. And so when you put it before, it's looking for attributes that are children or attributes that are attached. When you put it after, suddenly it's taking this and putting it before this selector. And that is a parent to child. That's a descendant selector that is now doing exactly what you hoped for. It's a nice little nesting trick, because all your CSS stays nice and compartmentalized and it belongs to the thing it belongs to, but you can affect anything from anywhere else. It's really nice. Okay. Will there be a quick add or autofill for common attributes ARIA stuff? Yeah, that's why I'm building as many things as possible, because I find little ways to be like, okay, I find myself doing this over and over and over again, and I'm pretty sure we can build in some sort of like just quick way to do it, you know? For example, now you got to be careful with the UI. There's a lot of UI implications here, but I could be like, there could be, imagine a little icon in here where I go insert data attribute, and it takes my label and it makes a data attribute that's data show labels, maybe even with this key, and the value is automatically the prop key. With one click, I go data attribute. I want this to be data attribute. And I just click the button and it just does it. That would be super helpful, right? That would be super helpful. And so the way I find these things is by literally building stuff in the real world. And I'm hunting constantly for, okay, I'm doing that too many times manually. We need a helper. We need a helper. This is where recipes came from. This is where a lot of the efficiency, the auto insert media queries, auto insert container queries, auto insert has me, mini GUI stuff. It's finding these opportunities to really innovate a professional workflow. This stuff that happens over and over and over again all the time. That's how we get this little targeting thing when we have an element that we can just target, click the little target, click the thing, maps it automatically. You used an Etch custom field because that'll also be copied and created when sharing the code. Have you thought of that? Yes, that is the beauty of Etch custom fields. So we'll just talk a little bit about, give you a little sneak preview here. So when you go to the Content Hub and you create post types or you create field groups, so do you know right now how when you have a component that's loop driven, okay? I don't know off the top of my head. I think like the navs are and stuff. But if you have conditions, if you have really loops is a really good example. If I go in and let me go to the loop manager, okay? So I have a bunch of these loops like social icon. Ooh, this is a good one. Social icons. Okay, let's go to, maybe it's in one of the footers. My preview's broke because I did something wrong and I got to fix it. It's just the height of these iframes. Is it footer alpha that has an option for showing icons, or does it just have a slot? It just has a slot, and you can go social share alpha and drop those in. Okay, so social share alpha. Look at this. Copy this. Watch this. This is wild. I don't think people got to understand what they're looking at here. I'm going to go into my loops. Post, nav, simple JSON, main query. That's all I have. That's all I have. Now I'm going to go into my demo header here. And I'm going to drop in social share alpha. Okay. And I'm going to save. And I think that this has, let's go exit. Let's just see. My demo header, social share alpha. Yes. So it comes pre-configured. Look at this. So not only did I get the component, it uses a loop. It brought the loop with it. So it uses a JSON loop to put in your icons and the destinations to them, and it automatically loops through them. So it's a very, very dynamic component where it just does everything automatically from this one little JSON file. It brings that JSON file with it. Now, extend that logic to post types and custom fields. What if I build a demo site for like a plumber? And get with me on this. This is going to be wild. This is going to be wild. I build a demo website for a plumbing company. And I do everything architecturally perfect. I put services for the CPTs. So all of our services are custom post types. All of our team members are custom post types. They all have their custom fields. I build all the components, the cards, everything, the templates with loops, with logic, with components, okay? And it's all based on the CPTs I made and the dynamic data that's in the back end that was all created in Etch. And then I sell you the plumbing website package, the whole package, right? Or even one of the pages or one of the templates. You're like, hey, I love that. Okay, I want to bring that in. And so what it's going to essentially do when you import, it's not just going to import the templates and the patterns, and it's going to import the loops. It's going to import the custom post types. It's going to import the custom field. It's literally a done-for-you website that you could just hand off to a client. That's the level to which you're going to be able to build and share this stuff. Keeping in mind that because of the auto block authoring, everything exists in Gutenberg. It's already client editable. And the client doesn't even need Etch Because when we have the bridge plugin, loops, components, logic, all that stuff will work without Etch even installed. You will, just get this, you will be able to sell entire websites, fully done, like fully done architecture and everything, to other people in WordPress who don't even have Etch. You'll be able to build it all in Etch and then sell it, and they just one-click import, and it imports everything, all of the functionality, all of everything. That's why I keep telling people, guys, you don't understand how game over this is. Get rid of all the template library, the block template libraries, gone. Just light them on fire. They're not needed anymore. They're not needed. No, not a single person with any right mind would be using any other page builder when you're able to do all this from an agency perspective, from a developer perspective that wants to create their own template packs to sell, their own blocks to sell, their own custom block development in VS Code, gone. Light it on fire. It's not even needed anymore. The WordPress ecosystem should boil down to, we've got this dinosaur of a content management system. You never have to interact with it again. You add Etch, and everybody uses Etch to do all development. And then if you don't have Etch or you don't want to install Etch, you have the bridge plugin to use anything that was built in Etch. And that is the modern development environment for WordPress. And it does everything everybody could need it to do in a very hyper efficient interface. You never have to bounce around between these different applications anymore, even if you're a custom developer. Just no reason to. There's no reason to. Game over. And then that's not even everything, because we've got just talking about the usefulness of Etch. I mean, we're talking about there's going to be something coming in the next, and it's not AI. It's not AI is coming. Okay, AI is coming in the next couple months. But you should probably look for an announcement or a teaser of something else that's not AI, that is going to be another just absolutely game-changing angle on Etch. And this is just going to keep getting better and better. Like, we're having the most possible fun, and it's only been a year. I mean, I can't imagine by the end of this year what things will look like, but you can see what we're doing. We're building a category of one. There is a I tried to tell people this before any of this existed, that when you have the right vision and you have the right, you know who you're building for. I'm not building, Bev can use the byproducts of this, right? But this is not like WordPress. Well, we're for anybody. Elementor, well, we're for anybody. What? No. How about this? How about we be for developers? How about we be for capable people who can build really cool shit? And then we'll give them the things that they need to make it easy for the lay people to use all the shit that they built, because that's all lay people do anyway. We get this idea that lay people get into Gutenberg and Elementor and Divi and actually build shit. They're not building anything. They're using shit that was built by other people. And all those interfaces do is they handicap the people who are trying to build stuff in them. Why don't we stop handicapping the people who are trying to build cool stuff, give them a real environment to build cool stuff, and then just as a byproduct, make it really easy for their clients to edit stuff with exposed props, with auto block authoring, with yada, 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 yada. You get it, right? It's a complete paradigm shift. And that is the big difference. That's what it boils down to. When everybody else has a vision of, we're building something for everybody, we had the vision of, no. We're building something for capable people, or people who desire to be capable. And we're going to enable them and empower them to build some really cool shit. And then they're going to just make it easy for whoever they're building it for. We're no longer believing in the lie of there's this vision of, there's this little Becky, this little Becky off the street sitting in her loft somewhere, cooking up websites in Divi on day one and shit. No. This is none of those. There's no Beckys. That avatar does not exist. And we need to stop pretending that it does. There's nobody walking in off the street and building websites. Regardless of the marketing messaging that you hear, regardless of the commercials that you see, there's no off the street Beckys building websites, okay? Doesn't matter how easy you make it or how much you dumb it down. They're just not doing it. There are two classifications of people. There's Becky and there's a Barbara, okay? Barbara's not a cool name, but sorry if you're a Barbara. I don't mean to insult Barbaras of the world. I don't know. It's just not a great... The Barbs, you understand. Becky is... Day one, Becky's a day oneer. You know, day one, all Becky can do is use shit that other people build. You know, fuck up a color here and there, drop in a headline here and there, fucking up the copy. She can break it. That's all she can do. That's a day one Becky, you know? And even check in after a month, she's still doing the same nonsense because she has no intention of learning. Now, Barbara, on the other hand, you know, Barbara's a little more sophisticated. Barbara, day one Barbara is like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I really want to learn. And so Barbara watches Page Building 101. And Barbara goes, oh, I need to be using a real tool that speaks the language of web development so I can learn. And so Barbara uses Etch. You know, Barbara does Page Building 101. Barbara uses Etch. Now you check in with Barbara on day 30 or day 60 or day 90. Barbara's cooking with gas at that point, okay? She's getting some stuff put together. Now you check in with Becky on day 90. Becky's still as unequipped as ever. As unskilled as she's ever been, Becky's still there. And that's the problem. And we have this fantasy of, well, we made it, you know, Wix will tell you, are you a day one Becky? You can use Wix. You can build a website with Wix. Elementor's the same way. Are you a day one Becky? Come on in. You'll be able to use Elementor. And then WordPress was like, are you a day one Becky? We got the block editor for you. Look how dumb we made it. I bet you can do anything. And actually, it turns out, it doesn't matter any of those platforms. Day one Becky can't do a damn thing. And check back with her in 90 days, can't do a damn thing. Hey, there's some 15-year Beckys that still can't do a damn thing. Some of them even have YouTube channels. Imagine that. You got to get out of this fantasy. This is an absolute fantasy that we have been led to believe for the last 15 years. At some point, we have to accept that day one Becky is not building anything, okay? And we have to go after the Barbaras who actually want to learn. And just say, hey, day one Becky, you can come in and change a headline here and there and break stuff if you want to, but we know that's the extent of what you're doing. So we're not designing interfaces for day one Becky. We're not designing workflows and innovations for day one Becky. We are designing for legit users who actually know what they're doing. And that includes a day one Barbara who is raising her hand going, I want to learn how to do this stuff. And then we provide the education to actually equip them so that they can do it and do it quickly. You know, learn as fast as humanly possible. Here is the expedited course on getting to where you need to be. And that is the fundamental difference. That because if you have day one Becky in mind, when Reinhardt, when Waji, when Mateo, when me, when Jeremy, when Tommy, when the whole team sits down and we decide what should this interface look like, how should it work, what should this feature do, what should that feature do? If day one Becky is in our mind when we're thinking about that shit, we're all fucked. Every one of us. And that's exactly what you see with Elementor, Divi, and Beaver, and Gutenberg, and everybody else. We're all fucked because they sat down and was like, well, how would day one Becky need this to be done? I don't care about day one Becky because I don't believe in the fantasy that she even exists. That is the fundamental, if that's the question you're going to ask, well, how would day one Becky need to be able to use this? You're going to come to a very different conclusion than you would come to if you sat down and said, hey, how does Kevin need to use this? How does a cracker need to use this? You know, that came out real weird. You know how I'm talking about. Cracker, you know who I'm talking about. He's in the chat. He's going to save me right now. You know what I'm talking about. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Name anybody in the community. How would a Zach need to use this? Just pick any, you know the names from the community that are just doing, they're always there. They're always helping out. They're always building really cool shit. We want to know how they want the thing to work. We don't care about day one Becky. Namely because she's a ghost. That's just a fairy tale. She doesn't even exist. Okay, you guys understand. Now, question is, what are we gonna do about it? We need, understand that this is a different paradigm. It's a different era. There's a lot of shit going on here that people haven't seen before. That can be a little intimidating to some people. There's also people that just are they have KDS. That's probably the best way to describe it, right? They hate the amount of winning that we do on a routine basis. They have Kevin derangement syndrome for whatever reason, and they're just excluding themselves from using the product. And those people I think can be. They can't hear it from me. If they hear it from you, they're probably open to it. But they just can't hear it from me, right? So some of you have to really, if you love the experience that you're having, you should talk about it more. You should tell more people about it. You should really nudge some people. You should be like, hey, I know you're trying to stick with your current thing right now. I know, I get it, but you really got to take a look. You really got to open your eyes, okay? You really got to pay attention to what's going on over here. Because if we're being honest, if we keep down this path, the entire WordPress ecosystem is about to shift. Oh, wait till AI is baked into this thing. The entire ecosystem is about, we want to make it so obvious. It's like, be so good that you just win by default. They're even the KDS people are going to be like, that is just so good. I just got to use it. I don't like the guy, but I got to use it. We want it to be that good. And it's it's on its way there. But you guys can help. You could help for sure. I'm watching the chat a little bit. This is hilarious. All right, I got to go get some lunch or something. That we went a little off the rails at the end. Bev's daughter Becky, fresh out of college, and her whiz Auntie Barb. Yeah. Okay. We need to vote. I'm gonna put up a poll. Maybe I'll do it on Twitter or Facebook. Does Facebook have polling options? Can you actually vote and get a percentage? I know X does. That's why I usually do polls on X. I don't know. Where could we do this? Where could we do this? We need to take a poll. Should there just be a rant-based podcast? Maybe it's just for inner circle people. Maybe we don't need all that. Maybe we don't need all that out in the world. Maybe it's an inner circle only podcast that's literally just rants. I don't know. We got to put some thinking into it. I get it. I know. Facebook's I don't know if it's going to be an era 4 thing. Exactly. This is exactly right. Well said. You worry about us. We worry about Becky. Well, yeah. It's perfect. All right. I got to get lunch. I got to get out of here. Softball starts today. Guys, my schedule is about to go. It's going to go ham. Okay. Or I got to go ham. The schedule's going to go wild. Cause I'm coaching again. I'm coaching 12U. My daughter is playing on my team. She's only 10 playing 12U. She played 12U last year at 9, which is crazy. She's playing 12U, but she's doing a 10U travel team. So she's doing double duty. My youngest daughter is on an 8U team. My oldest daughter is on a high school team. I don't know. I mean, there's 2 cars. There's 2 parents. I don't know. We honestly don't know how it's going to work. We don't know how it's going to work. It's going to get wild. It's going to get crazy. But thankfully, most of that stuff happens at night and the weekends. But I may be a little bit more ranty. You know what I'm saying? On the streams and stuff. I might just need that outlet. I might need a rant podcast outlet just to go off. But that might just have to be inner circle. All right, guys. I'm out. Thank you for the love and the support. I'll be back very soon. Peace.